All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible long weekend. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Yeah, Carlos, I'm good. Had a great Easter long weekend with the girls coming back, and always keeps it busy, but a lot of fun around here. So compared to the quiet house we normally have, well, you always have a loud house though.
It's
days.
always loud.
How was your weekend?
It was good, man. We had a great long weekend. My kids were off all week last week, so it was. It's been a loud house 24/7, which again I don't mind because, like many of my friends that their kids are older, they tell me, "Hey, you're gonna miss it." So I'm enjoying every single minute of it. I'm taking their advice to heart, man. So yeah. Good. Sometimes the kids come over. They wake up in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock in the morning. They come to the bed. They're kicking me and my wife, and we're like. My wife's like, I need to get some rest. I gotta wake up early. Like, trust me, enjoy this. You're going to miss it.
100%. It's it's exhausting in the moment, but it'll come faster than you think when you're missing it.
Oh yeah. All right. What's happening today in this gappers list looks pretty quiet. I mean, I know we don't have a quiet market. Our market has been pretty intense over the last 3 or so weeks. As tariffs and everything else continues here. Here we have our gap up list. MLGO making some noise this morning, up 37%. We'll see what that's about. We've seen them make some pretty big moves up, gapping up or down recently as well. And then gapping down, we have Hertz, Tesla, and Nvidia on the gap down list. So much going on. Before we get to all of that, Peter, let's jump into our U.S. economic calendar.
Yeah, and as you can imagine, it's not. I mean, in the U.S., I guess it's not a holiday. Is it a holiday anywhere? In the U.S., probably not, eh?
Today?
Yeah, today.
Oh, no? I don't even know. No, I thought it was just Friday. Good Friday.
Well, it's a holiday here in Canada.
So, what do you guys got going on?
It's just Easter Monday. I don't know, some made up holiday. It's to make the weekend longer.
There's nothing wrong with that.
In Europe, it's a holiday. So I guess that's some European heritage coming in here in Canada. I don't know. Monday's always been sort of a day off for most businesses and companies. So it's pretty quiet. I assume that the Canadian stock markets are closed, but I don't actually know. And anyways. Look, I put a couple things on here because there's some interesting things happening. Not a lot of economic activity, but earlier this morning, the IMF met. I mean, usually that goes on all day. So, and this is the International Monetary Fund, which is not normally something we talk about. However, these days there are potential impacts anyways. And who knows what could happen there, but unlikely it'll affect the stock market. But I thought I'd let you know about it just in case we get some weird activity. We can track it down and see if that's the cause. We do have a speech starting about now from one of the Fed's heads. Goolsbee is speaking, and then at 10 a.m. we have what's called the U.S. leading economic indicators. It's just an index of market of U.S. economic robustness. Obviously, a negative means contraction in the market in the overall economy of the U.S., and a positive number would be growth. So the forecast is for 0.5 point shrinkage for the month of March. This is, of course, a very latent type of indicator, so it's quite a bit behind. That's about it. Pretty quiet, really. Those are all sort of second, third tier type indicators. So not much happening. Again, not surprised. It's a Monday. Typically, we get less on a Monday to begin with, and it's a Monday after a long weekend, and actually a quiet long weekend, which was good because I was thinking with 3 days off, who knows what announcements could happen or events, but I didn't hear much of anything. I think it was pretty quiet. That being said, I was disconnected from a lot of stuff, so maybe I just missed it all, but I think it was pretty quiet. We do have earnings season that has started, and we're going to be talking to you guys throughout the week with a few earnings that are happening after the close into the morning here. We'll let you know, of course, as we always do, the earnings that are coming up today. I said, it still continues that quiet theme. There's a few earnings, nothing that we would watch. I mean, Bank of Hawaii, we watched them once when there were those crazy fires happening in Hawaii. But other than that, I don't think we've ever looked at Bank of Hawaii, and it's not, a going concern for active traders. So not much happening on the earnings side.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty quiet there. All right, let's get to our gappers list, friends. We'll look at some of these here. Good morning to everyone in chat. Good stuff there. Tesla, yeah, we're talking about Tesla in chat. That's a lot of fun. What is his name? CML. So CML, right, is saying that Tesla's not down about 40% this year. I'm sorry, it's down 36.6, 40.23. I mean, yeah, it's pretty close, man. We are that down if you haven't noticed the Tesla stock. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's look at MLGO this morning. This has been messy to say the least. I mean, look at it here. We went up to 32, down to 24 from their big spike here. And today we're gapping up. It sounds like a lot, 35%, but it's a small price stock. Again, I don't like trading it, Peter. The few times I looked at it, it's been horrible. So I'm not going to have it on my list this morning. That's for sure.
Yeah, it has been on our list a couple of times in the last little while, which is surprising. You do need to treat it like a low float, just like you said, Carlos. It trades that way. It is, there's only about 8 million shares in the float, so it's not that not that many shares out there available. They do have news this morning. They did get some significant investment or some increased investment by their largest shareholder, Wimi Hologram Cloud. What a weird name for a company. Wimi, WIMI, Wimi. Anyways, Hologram Cloud announced it has increased its stake. So now basically they are the single largest shareholder by far. They own 67.65% of the company, and they're going to own it for a while. They agreed to a 10-year lockup. So I guess we'll have to see if this. If micro algo is still a going concern 10 years from now, and that's a good bet for them or not. Who knows? But I think that's just on the basis of that shareholder increased stake is why it's moving. But like you said, probably not something that I'm going to spend a lot of time watching today.
Yeah, I'm not a fan here. Let's go to KGC this morning. KGC this morning down, up 3% right now. And again, have we ever looked at this ticker? It has the name gold on it, which doesn't mean much. I know gold is up at all-time highs last time I checked over the weekend, but yeah, it's on here. Trade's horrible. This pre-market activity is not going to do it for us. So again, the ticker's flying this morning, but for the most part, not a great intraday trading stock as I'm looking at it here.
Gold is insane. It's absolutely insane. The gold prices continue to increase over this weekend. It seems like we get these random gold tickers. That this is Kinross Gold, a Canadian gold miner. I don't think we've ever looked at it before. It doesn't seem familiar to me. They're just popping on the list. They're going to do that, I think, as gold prices continue to soar. But you're not going to see active trading on it. Probably not enough that we'd really want to pay attention throughout the trading day. I can't remember if we did this on the show, but it was about a week ago that I learned an amazing fact. Gold prices have increased so much that the equivalent weight in gold of a US $100 bill is now worth more. So think of how light a US $100 bill is. If you translated the weight, what is a $100 bill, like half an ounce, or I don't even know what a $100
I don't even know.
But
very light.
If you had the same amount of gold, anyways, it now is worth more. Like that seems That seems crazy.
That seems wild, man. That seems intense. David Ball has this information. It says it's 1 gram. Look at that.
Okay, there you
That's
go.
hard to believe,
One
man. But
gram.
hey, it's yeah, 3,300, excuse me, an ounce. Yeah, it's wild. All right. No, nothing good so far, guys. KGC, whatever this is, doesn't look great for trading, so I'm not gonna have it on my list. That's all that we have on our gappers list. So it's not a whole lot happening here. We'll jump to the gap down in just a second. I know this week is gonna get much busier, more exciting than it is today. We got a lot of big names reporting into this week, so we should see at least some earnings action if the gappers list is not gonna do it for us. But Peter, before we head over to the gap down, anything you like this morning that might not be showing here?
Not a lot is gapping up. We're seeing most things down this morning. A couple of maybe notable exceptions that are gapping up. The Bitcoin offerings seem to be up this morning. Bitcoin prices, I mean, they haven't soared, but they are a little bit higher. They're around 87.2 right now for a Bitcoin. And that's, it's been relatively strong over the morning here. The weekend, it didn't do much. It was just hanging around 85,000. But Coin, Mara, they seem to be up, right? Those MSTR, those types of offerings are gapping up. If you wanted to pick one of them, I noticed that of all the Magnificent Seven and related stocks, because I don't think Netflix is one of them, but Netflix is gapping up, continues its strong ways. We had earnings last week on Netflix, and didn't we? Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. Netflix, yeah. Thursday.
Yeah,
Actually,
came out.
Netflix would be now that you mentioned Netflix would be a good one because we were talking about this on the live stream, right? It's a ticker that did earnings after hours, but never got the morning action that we usually get, right?
Right.
So we'll see today how that looks. Should be interesting.
It, overall, it was actually fairly modest, I guess. It did pop up after hours, and we were watching that. It didn't even sort of get the full. Well, I guess eventually it got the full expected move. But remember, we were trading that, and I actually tried to trade the reversal, and I waited and I waited and I waited, and finally it dropped
Paid off.
below 1,000. And yeah, I just got I got my partial and then I left because I mean, if you look at the chart here, it doesn't look like I waited that long, but it felt like an eternity. I got to say, after the close,
Yeah.
when all I wanted to do was just start my weekend. Anyways, eventually I got my little money. It wasn't that big of a trade really because I didn't have that many shares, but whatever. Anyways, we made money. Green is green.
That's it.
So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm glad you brought Netflix up. I will be putting down my secondary list. Again, we'll have to see how it plays out. And we'll put it on here. Netflix on the secondary. All right, let's see what's gapping down this morning, friends. Let's go over to our gap down list. We have a couple on here. Hertz, HTZ, down some more. So these guys are, again, just struggling here, as you're seeing. Down 9% this time, 1.6 million shares traded. So really taking a hit here. They gapped up. Last week, they gapped up based on, what was it? Earnings, right? They had a good earnings report.
Yes.
Yeah, so they gapped up. So giving some of those sales back, some of those wins back this morning. 1.6 million shares traded. How well they're going to trade, I'm not sure, Peter. But what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there seemed to be rumors. Was it last? I think it was last week. Bill Ackman was talking about. Ackman's been like talking about a lot of ththings recently. Anyways, but he was suggesting there might be some sort of partnership between Uber and Hertz. I haven't seen any confirmation of that, but Ackman did buy some, and he did buy Hertz, and that sort of gave it a boost. So short term. But this is sort of like what we were talking about a couple weeks ago. So that you may want to look at those that have large inventories of used cars, because if these this tariff environment continues, then the value of existing cars should theoretically go up. So that might give companies that have those large resale car inventories a little bit of a boost because they've already paid for their inventory. So we were looking at more of the Carvanas and what's the other one? The CarMax. Those two. But I guess Hertz, absolutely, they've got a huge inventory of vehicles, right? So anyways, this feels like it's a little bit of a pullback after the increase because of that conversation, that talk that Ackman was spurring. If you look at them on a daily chart, I mean, they did have their good gap. They almost doubled over the last couple of trading sessions, and it's natural that they're going to get a little bit of a pullback. So we'll see what happens with it today. Probably not a hugely active trader. I've always struggled to find decent trades in this stock. So.
Yeah, and I remember these guys, man. They ramped up like all these Teslas. If you remember, that was it Hertz that did that, right? They ramped up on all these Teslas, and people were having trouble charging them, how to drive them. They're all a little funky when it comes to the braking and accelerating. It takes a little bit. So the insurance was going off the sky, skyrocketing on all the crashes and things. It was just a mess. And I thought Uber had purchased some of those. But when you go to your Uber app, Peter, right? When you go to your Uber app, you can rent cars from there. I guess that's already working through Hertz. So I don't know what else all the partnership they're going to do. I thought they already had something like that in place. But yeah, I'm not sure. All right. Well, we'll see. Again, secondary at best. I mean, Hertz does not trade very well. You saw how it was. Actually, you saw how it was on Friday for Andrew. This stock is just so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it off my list, man. I'm not gonna bother with this. I just reminded myself how bad it treated Andrew when it was in play. It just doesn't move well, and hence the reason why I didn't have it on my watch list last week. One that will be on deck for us here is down 40%, guys, year to date. The title is correct. It's not a clickbait. Just want to make sure I put that in there. It is down 4.1 this morning. 2.5 million shares traded. Is our good buddy Tesla, as you can see here. So again, the daily heading down to some lows here. I mean, they've been as low as 213, as I can see on this candle. And again, they got earnings coming up tomorrow, so that should be fun to see what to expect out of Tesla. So on my list for sure. Again, just a great trading stock overall. Peter, anything else to add here going into earnings tomorrow?
Look, there's always little bits of news on Tesla. There is a class action lawsuit against some inaccuracy in their odometers that is hitting them. The ongoing news of, actually, it's been fairly quiet. I was going to say the ongoing news of Elon, but think about, I haven't really heard from him, right? Somebody told him, like, dude, maybe take a back seat here for a while, because he has really sort of gone very, very quiet over the last couple of weeks. So and the stock hasn't really rebounded due to his silence. So I think it's just a matter of time, obviously, before we hear from him again. But in the meantime, Tesla stock is sort of free to do its thing, which unfortunately generally still seems downward in trajectory. So not harshly, though. I mean, over the last 2-3 weeks even, Tesla's been relatively stable. I mean, yes, as you said, it's down significantly year over year, but if I just look at April here compared to March, it's still in the exact same range. We know we've got a low range here around $215, I guess I'll call it. So this thing has got room to move downside, and of course unlimited room to move upside before we really signal that something unusual is happening in Tesla, in my opinion. Always a good trader, though, despite normally if I'd look at a daily chart like Tesla's, I would say it doesn't look that good. I just know that it moves. It gives you good multi-dollar moves over the course of the day, and there's good opportunity in it, so it stays on my list.
Yeah, even with bad or good news, this stock is always fun to look at, always fun to trade. Gives us good opportunities. So yeah, we'll have it on here, and we'll see how it goes. Will be on my primary list. Next is going to be Nvidia. It's funny, the two stocks that we watched the most, I think, throughout the year. These two, Nvidia and Tesla. That's the next one on here. These guys are down 3.2, but as you mentioned earlier, all of tech is taking a hit, right? If you look at Apple, if you look at all these companies, they're all down slightly. It's just everything with tariffs and the economy has definitely put things into the red here. So Apple down as well as Meta, and almost all your Max 7s are slightly down this morning. So Nvidia is here leading the way. It's got some good volume, down 3.1, 7.8 million shares traded. So it'll be on my list, Peter. I'm sure it'll be on yours as well. But anything else you like besides aside from Nvidia as well?
Well, I mean, I do like Nvidia. Unfortunately, Nvidia keeps getting hit. I mean, they announced last week that they're going to take a $5.5 billion write down because of U.S. Policies that are going to restrict sales of some of their high-end chips into China. China over the weekend has come back and said, all right, no problem. We're looking at alternatives. They specifically pointed to Huawei Technologies and said that they're going to be looking to enhance their ability to build and deliver some of their advanced chips. So, not really good news in the long run for North American semiconductor companies, which generally have led on the design front, right? Like, American US based chip companies have benefited from relatively open trade and their ability to sell across the world with their industry leading chips. But, if China throws their might behind other companies, that's going to be problematic for them, right? Because they could start to, get a little more heft and be able to invest more in the R&D. And, if they get taken over, like we're used to NVIDIA sort of announcing the industry leading chips in their segment, right? Time and again. If other companies start coming with better performing, higher capacity chips, then they could lose that mantle, and that would be problematic. Anyways, I'm not suggesting that the Huawei chip, this 910C chip, is. I haven't heard any reports to say it's outperforming, but we're just trying to look down the road. What would this mean? How do we trade NVIDIA profitably? So whatever it means long term, in the short term, it means trading opportunity. Even if you'd like to see NVIDIA higher, it's definitely in play. So, like Carlos was saying, I think it's on the list because of that play activity. And AMD has been following along. I feel like it's just been following. It hasn't really been leading, but it's also been trading nicely with some good movement. So that's another one to trade. And then there's a bunch that people have been looking at on and off on different days, right? Whether you like Broadcom or Intel or Micron or even SMCI, there's a bunch out there that you can keep an eye on.
Yeah, I definitely like NVIDIA and Tesla going to be on there. And again, AMD, AMD's, it's a hit or miss. We did have a good trade not so long ago on it, so it can trade well. But you're right, it's more following than anything else. So maybe put it on our secondary list here as we move forward. All right, guys, not a lot to go off on our gappers list. Again, pretty quiet right now. I know it probably won't be a quiet market open. It hasn't been. Usually we're getting some really great activity. The market right now, overall SPY slightly down about 1%. And we'll see where it goes once the bell hits. But before we do that, guys, Peter, anything else you like before we go to the chat?
Not particularly. Sector-wise, I mentioned, our Bitcoin sector was up. The quantum sector is down, but a lot of things are down this morning. So IonQ, QBTS, QUBT, Ragetti Spaghetti, they are all down this morning. Haven't really been in play the last little while. Harder to trade these days than they used to be. I still think they're probably fun to keep an eye on, but yeah, this environment hasn't been good for these stocks. It hasn't been especially bad, but it just hasn't been good. So I think just the interest has waned as people are feeling more defensive than they're feeling optimistic. And these stocks at this point require optimism, I think, for them to move. If you want stuff that's gapping down, pretty much you could pick the entire Magnificent Seven list, right? Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft. They're all gapping down. So pick whichever one you want. Apple continues in the last few trading sessions with its ways of trading. It's the only one of the Magnificent Seven that trades differently. If you look at the charts for most of them, they generally have been following along the market, sort of biding their time, I think, waiting for the administration to make new announcements. But Apple's been the one that's been doing something different. Doesn't mean it's been going up while things have been going down. It just hasn't been moving with the same pattern. So, some days I like that. Some days it bites me. So I don't know. I still watch it just because I'm waiting for that interesting happening to occur on the stock. So. Yeah. Well, it's going to be on my list.
All right. Okay, friends, let's get into it. Let's see what you guys like this morning. I'm going to look in our chat first, then we'll head over to YouTube and see what our YouTube friends are doing there. And YouTube friends, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton, actually. So hit that thumbs up and subscribe if it's your first time here. In chat, let's start here. MSTR. Let's take a look. MSTR. This is MicroStrategy. They are actually up 2%, 441,000 shares traded. They're just getting above our 2% here, so they should be coming up on our gappers list in a second, because they're back and forth between that 2%. This stock, man, is it's hard to trade. It's in play. There's no question. The fact that they're up when a lot of people are slightly down, it's interesting. But man, they're tough, Peter. I don't know what to tell you here on this one.
And Carlos, they're going to get mad at you like an angry teenager because they just want to be called strategy now.
Oh, that's right. They changed the names of strategy. Well, how can
That's right.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry about that. MicroStrategy is now strategy. We want to get rid of the micro situation because micro is small. So yeah, I guess that doesn't translate well. Yeah, so strategy now. Yeah, I don't like it, guys. I mean, we've seen this stock in play. I be careful with the spread. If you're going to be watching it, just be cautious. So I'm not going to put it on my list, but if you see something great, Jesse, let us know. We'll look at it. But just be mindful of how I can trade. MU is typically doing what other semis are doing today, right? Slightly down this morning, not a whole lot of volume. I don't see anything special. You look on the daily, and almost everything from NVIDIA and AMD and those others look pretty much the same, right? So I'm going to pick something that usually gets more volume. I have AMD and I have NVIDIA on my list. If you look at probably TSM, it's the same situation. Yeah, same little pop and then kind of drop over the last couple of days. So again, nothing major. Just those two, MU and TSM, with less volume than you're going to get from like an NVIDIA who's already at 8 million with almost the same type of move, right? So I'm going to pick something that's got a little more volatility than MU. But it's in play. Semis, obviously, with all the China stuff, it's just not doing so hot. And there was a headline where from China where they said they're even going to punish companies that work with the U.S., as far as tariffs, right? So meaning if they're trying to do any kind of deals that hurt China, they're going to punish those countries as well with their tariffs and exports. So again, it's just getting messy and it's spilling over to everyone. So let us see how things will look in the future here. All right, Tesla, we do have on deck, of course. I mean, this looks pretty good. Tom Lee says he believes Tesla has bottomed. That's a bold statement. I don't know if it has bottom. It's in a good price if things turn around. Absolutely. A lot of things are on sale right now. But the problem is, when are they going to turn around and start making that sale a profit, right? That price a profit. So, yeah, it's a lot of stuff that's pretty low that's looking good for, a few years down the line, maybe a few months down the line. But how much pain can you take going the other way if it continues? So, that's the part you got to be very, very careful with. I mean, I'm in a few long-term positions, but no margins, not on margins, not using money, borrow money, using cash. So this way, I can hold for a while because I strongly believe they're going to come back, but you got to be careful when you do that. All right, let's see. We're all set. No other tickers in our chat. Just kind of tells you how quiet it is. Let's check over in our YouTube chat at DLTR by our buddy David here. DLTR, this is Dollar Tree, DLTR. And they could be, did they do a split? Did they split here? I thought they were a lot higher in price. Or am I bugging?
I don't know.
I thought they were much higher.
I don't know. I don't remember what the price of the stock was. So,
okay, maybe not. But I thought they were upwards of 300 or so, but maybe I don't have that right. The lack of volume on this ticker, guys, is the problem for me. So you want to be careful with this one. I don't see anything in play here at all right now. There's only 5,000 shares being traded, so I'm not sure what the deal is. Oh, you meant PLTR? Is that what it is? Did you mean PLTR? No, you meant DLTR. It did have a nice move on Friday, right? Thursday. So you probably did mean that one. But speaking of PLTR, let's look at that one here. PLTR is another one that gets great volume. It's down 1.8 this morning, 1.4 million shares traded. We have been watching it lately. It does trade very well. It can be very explosive. Again, today, pretty much down with everything else, right? So again, not really in play on its own, but it's a stock that we like to watch because they get the volume, right? So I'll add PLTR here to the list. They get the volume. They can be explosive, but there's really nothing special going on with PLTR right now. It's just moving with the overall market as everything is slightly down this morning. KGC, yeah, we did look at this one earlier. KGC, Steve. And again, I'm not a big fan of these gold type stocks, so it won't be on my list. But it is in play. Up 2.3, 700,000 shares traded. It just requires a different type of trader. My strategies, like my 5 minute RB, which we'll be looking for at the market open here, it's just not going to trade well with a stock that looks like this for the most part. So that's it. But depending on your strategy, this could be a good one to take advantage of. Amazon has become one of our favorite stocks to watch all the time. They just trade well. Like they have these really great setups. We had a couple of really great trades the last 2 weeks on it. Today they're down again, just like everything else, down about 2%, 1.5%, 544,000 shares traded. Nothing special. Just like Peter mentioned earlier, all the semis, all the top the max sevens down slightly with everything else. So again, you could pick your favorite today. There's not one that looks better than the other by much. So again, there's really not a whole lot to really go by when everything is kind of doing the same thing. I am going to put Amazon on my secondary list. I think they do trade very well. I want to leave some space. Like I already have a lot of the Max 7s on my list, Tesla, Nvidia, and Amazon. So I want to leave some space for anything else that can creep up here that can be interesting, maybe before we get to the market open. But if not, I'm going to move Amazon out to my primary list. I really like the way that stock trades. I might move PLTR up as well, but want to leave this open to see what else pops up here. Intel's got earnings coming up as well. So by the way, you can head over to tradingterminal.com, guys. So if you head over there, I'll show you here. Click on calendar, and you can get a nice little recap of things that are happening here. We have a nice little poster there or banner, and it shows you what's coming up. So Tesla after the close tomorrow, we are going to be live for that. So me, Peter, Jared, Brian will be live for that release. SAP should be interesting as well after hours. Then we got Boeing Wednesday morning. Thursday again, we kick it off with Google, Intel. Here it is. So Intel will be reporting on Thursday. That should be fun. American Airlines that morning. We got a couple of airlines. Alaska. I thought I saw Southwest as well. Where's Southwest? Love. Here it is, Thursday morning. So we got a couple of airlines, kicking off their earnings. So should be a very exciting week. Today not so hot as far as earnings, but tomorrow we start getting into Verizon. So really well-known names here. All right, Peter, that is all we have, man. Let's head over to community events and announcements for today, this beautiful Monday, as we kick it off back to trading, as we're getting somewhat used to the flow of things here. But yeah, what's happening for this beautiful day?
You bet. It's Monday, which means we get to welcome all our new members who are joining and give you some training and some information that might help you on your journey. So we're going to start with our midday sessions. We've got options trading with Avi that happens at 11 o'clock for our elite members in the webinar room. If you want to talk options, go to the webinar room at 11 with Avi. That's the place to be. And then at noon, Brendan's going to take over right there. This is in the onboarding room. So this is for everybody, all members of all categories. And he's going to talk about DOS setup. It's a great tool. But like I always say, it might need a little bit of help. Like today, for instance, if you're looking at it today and you've got 2-minute charts, it's always my 2-minute charts that are blank whenever there's a day off in the market, right? So you got to drag the right data in. If you don't know how to do that, you might need some tips. Brendan's going to show you how to do that so that everything works and functions the way you would expect. And then tonight, Carlos leads his onboarding class. It's a great opportunity for new or returning members, whether you're brand new or you've been around for a while. You might just want to understand better how you can take advantage of all of the assets that Bearable Traders puts at your fingertips and how to leverage them through your trading journey. That happens at 8 p.m. Once again, in the onboarding room, available to all members of all categories. So hopefully you will join us for any or all of those sessions today. If you want information on the markets, tradingterminal.com is the place to go. We invite you to check that out. It's got a whole bunch of stuff like the earnings Carlos is showing you and so much more. There's scanners, there's news information, there's the economic calendar. It's all there. Check it out at tradingterminal.com. And like we gave you that little ad up front, we've got our boot camp starting very soon now. It's just over 2 weeks away, I guess. It'll be starting on May the 5th, I think, our next boot camp session for peak capital trading. This boot camp is a great opportunity if you really want to sort of accelerate your trading journey. It's a very intensive class, 3 months worth of training activities that happen. There are activities, new stuff for you every single day, and it is quite I said, a great session, but it's intensive, so be ready for it. You've got a great deal though. We're bundling it with a year elite membership at the Variable Traders, as well as a $50,000 funded trading account. So whatever you pay, you have the opportunity to earn it back, but don't join for that reason. That's sort of just a secondary bonus. Andrew's willing to put his money behind you and invest in your trading journey, and really wants to help accelerate that. So that $50,000 account gives you the chance to earn up to $15,000 if you trade profitably over the course of that boot camp. There's a couple of rules, but they're not onerous. It just, trade consistently, no low floats, things like that. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. We just want to see you grow consistently as a trader over the long run. And we have handed out a number of checks over the years to people that have taken advantage of that. So check it out. If you want more information, go to variabletraders.com and click on the platinum link. It'll give you all the details about what those 3 different things, right? The boot camp, the $50,000 funded account, and the 1-year Variable Traders membership, or what all of those entail. So check it out. Let's get some levels set here. What are we? We got lots of time. We're actually doing pretty good today. So
we're really good. It's a quiet start to the week, that's for sure. So, but yeah, we're doing pretty good on time here. All right, let's get some levels set. We'll take some questions here. Jeff is asking, did we already make a video for how to trade earnings? Yeah, I wouldn't make that video, man. The one I see taking earnings trades all the time and crushing them is Jared. Jared's got to make that video for us. He took one. He took one last week on Netflix. Called it short. Peter joined on that one too. They both went short on earnings. It's a different animal trading earnings. I usually trade the following day, and it's the same setup you guys seen with me doing the 5-minute RB. The only difference is that with earnings, we're just trading the volatility, right? Earnings brings us more volume and more gaps ups and down that can give you more opportunities on different stocks other than the Max 7s, which are almost always in play, right? So
yeah. I traded Jared's call, so just waited for the setup that matched, what I felt comfortable with, but it was on the general views that Jared had helped share with us. So yeah, definitely he's the man. But like most things, right? Trading earnings is a very specific skill. So that's one that you don't want to just jump in. It is after hours or before hours, but usually it's after hours trading we're talking about. That's where you get the most interesting and focused price action when earnings come out after the close. And it's again, it's tough to trade. I find I don't normally do it. Every once in a while I'll jump in, but there's usually 1, maybe 2 each earnings season. So we're talking a couple of times a year I'll trade it. So it's certainly not something off of which I'm building my core trading strategies.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's get some levels in, guys. I only have Tesla and Nvidia on my main list. We will add some more to this, but right now that's all I have. So let's do levels for that. Here's Tesla towards the top, guys, looking pretty nice. I mean, just look at this here, how beautiful. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, even covering the high of the pre-market. I mean, you don't need to add anything else to this. You'll be making things complicated here. So it's looking really neat. Look at the low of the pre-market. We're really trying to hold this area, this 230 67 area here. So we're going to mark that there. That is our low of our pre-market, and you can see here a couple of times we have used that as somewhat of support on a Tesla here on the daily. So that's awesome. Towards the bottom, if we were to drop any lower, which we have a couple of times, we hit 224.21. So you definitely want to have that there as one of the levels on the daily towards the bottom. So that kind of pretty much covers Tesla right now. Getting some good activity as we're trying to break down lower here. Let's see if that can get going. But this looks pretty nice for the most part. Here is Nvidia. We'll do some levels for Nvidia as well. We're going to slam 97.67. That is the low of the pre-market. And as you can see as well, like many tickers that we're going to go all over towards the top, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, previous day close, covering all the major levels I would want to have, right? So you can see here how much support and resistance being covered by these highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. So that's doing a pretty good job. If we were to drop lower, 94.42 is a good one. And then we obviously have the big level at 86.81. Nvidia 86.81. Man, that's wild. All right, that's it. Those are the two that I really like. I do have some stuff on my secondary list, like Netflix. They had earnings on Thursday evening. We'll see what they do today. We'll do some levels. We got a little bit of time. We're going to mark down 1,006, the high of the pre-market, and then above that, just in case we do have 1022. And all the way up here, I mean, that'll be a stretch, 1061. Towards the bottom, highs and lows of the last two trading days, doing a pretty good job. Let's do two more. I'm going to do PLTR and Amazon. These two are really good. Again, they're not doing anything special that we are not seeing on other tickers, but they can provide slightly better opportunities if the stuff we have on our main list is not moving all that well. 91.37 is the low of the pre-market on this one, not 91.35 to be exact. So definitely slam a level there. Another one over at 87.50, and then towards the bottom you got the big level support and resistance around 84.29. You can see there how much touches we have. It's just all the flirting going on between all these candles on that 84.29. So that is PLTR. Another one that towards the top, your set highs and lows, as many of the stocks have. Another one that I probably will move up is Amazon. Amazon can trade very clean, guys. Amazon can do some pretty cool stuff here, and it treated us well last week. We traded twice, and both times actually did very well. So let's see what it does this week. 168.80 towards the bottom there. Low of the pre-market is being tested right now. 166.45 is another level here on the daily as well. And then towards the top, as many of us have already, highs and lows for the last two trading days and the previous day close. So we are all set there. All right, so let's see here. I think we are good to go. Peter, what is our team watching? What do they have on deck this morning?
All right, let's take a look at what our moderators are watching here today, and as they're getting their lists in, who was first? It looks like Lenny was in first again, followed immediately by Andrew. Oh, look at them. Look at Andrew, man, up in here so early, loving it. Lenny, Tesla, NVIDIA, Apple, AMD, and Amazon. Andrew's going to be watching Tesla, PLTR, Apple, and NVIDIA. Megan, as always, keeping it very nice and tight, watching just Netflix and Amazon this morning. Thor is going to be keeping a special eye on Apple and AMD. Jared is watching Netflix and GLD, watching those gold prices to see what they do. And then, of course, he's going to be watching any gap fill setups off of the scanners. So see what happens there. Andrew's adding Netflix to his list, while Mike is going to be focusing on Netflix and the scanners. Avi is going to be watching some of the Magnificent Seven, just Apple, Tesla, AMD, and NVIDIA this morning. For myself, like I already mentioned, I'm going to be watching Tesla, AMD, NVIDIA, and Netflix, and then I'll keep an eye maybe on PLTR as I usually do, and Apple. So we'll see what happens with those. We already have the list from Carlos that he mentioned. It's at the bottom of the screen there. You can see that. So whatever you choose, just trade smart. It's let's go into this. It's a good week here. Last full week of April. So let's have some good springtime trading. Let's grow those accounts with some fun opportunities. It should be fairly quiet today, pending any crazy announcements out of the White House or some trade partners, which could happen. I mean, China's been busy talking tough over the last little while, so who knows what back and forth may occur, but that's the news that you've got to be ready for in this market conditions. We got used to this during the first Trump administration. For anybody that was trading back then, you really sort of have to stay on your toes. It's not like other times, I guess, when you can sort of know that it's generally going to be a quiet day and you just wait for your pattern setups. Now you've got to always be on alert in case you get the random message, random tweet, right? That can move the market in unexpected directions. So whatever you do, just be cautious. I mean, we're seeing the markets generally, the North American markets are just sliding down here this morning. No particular news for that. I think it's just the quietness without a change in this tariff stance, does not make the markets happy. So we'll see what happens when the big money comes in. Again, we've seen it so many times before, right? We can go either way. So don't make a general assumption about market direction until you find the proof, and the proof will happen again after the opening bell at 9:30.
Yep, absolutely. All right, friends, let's get ready here. I was looking at UPXI, our good buddy Advanced 2016 mentioned that in chat. Yeah, this thing is flying, up 341% right now. Opened up around what's this, $2, 222, and it's up at almost as high as 12 in this session here. So, high flying. I don't have the flow in front of me, but I'm assuming it's a low flow stock, Peter. Not sure if you have that handy.
Not one that I was looking at here, so but I can tell you momentarily. UPXI, oh yes, absolutely. Only 1 million shares in the float with a $3 million market cap. Yeah,
Ouch.
absolutely.
That's
Low
tiny. So
float.
yeah, definitely could be the low
100%.
flow of the day. Just be careful on that, man. That is really really low. But I like to watch
Yeah.
it for fun. I'm gonna put it on my watch list here on DAS, but I'm not gonna put it at the bottom ticker. I don't want nobody looking at this to trade, but just for fun, entertainment purposes. UPXI. There it is. 29 million shares traded. So this thing has traded itself many, many, many times over.
Wow.
Madness. All right, so all right, guys, we're getting set, getting a 5 minute or 1 minute charge ready for the market open. Andrew and Brian are going to be in our chat. They're going to be trading there live. If you want to see uh, live trading for Brian and Andrew, guys, click over. There's a link that we put on here. It gets you in for a trial for about $19 for a whole week. Get access to educational materials, the chat room as well, and see their trading style. Those guys are amazing. Imagine they put us at the front door, me and Peter, and I think we're okay. So you can only imagine what's in the VIP room in the back, right? So it's like in the club, they put the less important people in the front, and in the back room they have Brian and Andrew crushing it there. So if you want to see that, definitely check that out. Click that link there and go see those guys. They're really really good. With that said, we're all set here, guys. Carlos AI Club. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. All right, so my list: Tesla, Nvidia, AMD. I'm sorry, Nvidia, Amazon, Netflix. I moved those two out because I couldn't find anything else. I'm so Magnificent Seven heavy today, but I couldn't find anything else that's really moving. And you could tell by the list of our team here, it's the same thing, right? There's not a whole lot that's different today, this morning. Not a lot sticking out. Later in the week, that's going to change with earnings coming out, but for right now, it's going to be just max 7 at the moment. All right, we're all set to go. Let's see here.
Ready to go.
Yes, yes. So what else we have? Anything else? GLD. Yeah, gold is on fire, of course. Any questions we have? John says he thinks you have my wrong email. Yeah, if you haven't got a response from me, you got the wrong email. Let me send it to you. It's Carlos. I'll type it here at bearbulltraders.com. So send me an email there. Get back to people within 24, 48 hours. Carlos at bearbulltraders.com. Like the guy last week, right, Peter? He's like, "Hey, Carlos, I emailed you 3 times. You haven't responded." And it was David. I went back and looked at the inbox. He emailed me at this 3 times, like back to back to back, different questions. I'm like, okay, that's not
Well,
3 emails. That's not that's not three
well,
separate emails. But that was funny.
right.
That was good. Um,
That happened.
Good morning from Germany. Hope you had a great Easter. We did have a great Easter, man. I had a lot of fun. I'm actually so tired from Easter. Usually it's long weekends with the kids. We have a lot of activities and fun. Monday it's like I need an extra Sunday to kind of get the energy back, but we're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to go. Um, let's see. What else, friends? Peter, what did you do for Easter? Well, Peter's Easter is today, I think, right, Peter? Today's your Canadian
Well,
holiday?
no, it's generally Easter Sunday. My daughter went back to school, so she's gone already. But yeah, we just spent time with my girls here. My son obviously is in Scotland, so he's unable to make it back. But we just spent time together. Not much. Went out for Indian food on Saturday night.
Oh,
Changed
nice.
tires. That's typically the time when I change the girls' tires from winters back to the summer all season tires. So
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, had some
You
tire
were you were
changing
crank.
activity.
That's what we've been practicing, cranking up. Ready to change those tires. Love it, love it, love it.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
But
all right, we are good to go. We have MLGO. We did look at MLGO, right? We didn't like this one. Yeah, it doesn't look good. It does got volume though. 7.2 million shares traded. Starting to move a little bit now to the upside. I'm gonna put it next to UPXI for entertainment purposes only. So just be careful on this Micro Algo, or are these guys changing their names too, Pierre? They're gonna go Algo now. They're gonna remove the micro from their name.
I
What's
don't
going
know.
on?
They haven't followed suit so far. So
Yeah, they haven't caught on to the new trend, so that should be good. Uh, let's see here. All right, perfect. So MLGO, same for okay. All right, just checking the message, make sure that we didn't miss any questions over here on YouTube and also in our chat. And yeah, I think we're set, guys. 10 minutes to the market open. We'll see where the volume is in. I see Andrew's firing up his screen, so we'll disconnect and let Andrew do his thing here in chat.
I yeah, it's so far it's a quiet morning. I don't have anything
Yeah,
particular that I love. No big setups for me. I'm gonna have to watch my usual stocks and just see how they react after these long weekends. You never quite know
yeah,
which direction things are gonna go. So yeah, it's gonna be a cautious open for me. I mean, it always is, but extra cautious.
yeah, agreed. All right, we'll disconnect from chat. Andrew's ready to rock and roll there, and we'll let you guys to it. Perfect. We'll stick here on YouTube, and I think we are all set. Beautiful. Let me mute Andrew on here, and perfect. All right, friends, so I got my 5 minute, got my 1 minute, ready to rock and roll. Let's see where the action is this morning. Nvidia, Tesla, both down right now. Amazon, I like today as well. And Netflix, I don't like as much, but I'm interested to see how the reaction is going to be today, given they didn't get the reaction on Friday because markets were closed. It might be tame, though. Maybe the momentum, maybe after having a day off like that, you might not really
Yeah.
get the momentum you're looking for, right? So
It could go either way. It's tough to
yeah,
tell
right.
this morning. I mean, so far it's been pretty quiet, but I generally expect that out of Netflix. It trades of all of the sort of the tech stocks. It trades the most like a NYSE stock. I just
Yeah.
find the I don't know. I just the volume's strange on it. It could be because it's $1,000 stock. It doesn't trade as well as some of the others that they're all usually in the couple $100 stage. Like probably the next most expensive is what Meta, I guess, which is up around 500.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I remember, I mean, a lot of stocks get like that. Like Amazon used to be really expensive before they
Mm-hmm.
split,
Yeah.
and it trades a little bit better now that it's split, but it's still not the best. Google used to be really expensive
Mm-hmm.
too. I think they also split, didn't they, a few years ago? So
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, it happens.
It sure does. Question here in chat is, what do we think about holding through Google into
Oh,
earnings? I'm already down, thinking of selling it before earning. Man, you're in a tough spot, man. You're in a very tough spot, Amit, because this could be the thing that takes you, closer into your break-even point
yeah.
or further
Whoa.
away. So you just don't know,
Pop
man.
up on Nvidia here.
Nvidia. Oh yeah, look at that. So yeah, I mean, you're in a tough spot, man. Whatever I tell you is not gonna be right. It's a scary thing to be in that situation right now. So
I have
um,
I think it's Brian's birthday today.
oh, Brian's birthday.
I think
Let's
so. I don't
let's
know that
confirm
anybody
that.
knows that. I'm not. I think it is.
Yeah.
I just had one of the social media platforms just inform me that it was his birthday.
Okay. I try not to put my. They ask you for the birthday. I'll be like, no, don't put that
Yeah.
there. Or I'll put something weird like January 1st. like like if you must do it, okay. If I have to do it, I'll put January 1st. So yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, let us know how it goes, man. I'm not gonna be rooting for you, whichever decision you take. But yeah, it's a tough place to be in. What does Google look like here? All right, did you survive this? If you survive this already, right? If you held and you survived through this, then that'll be my new stop because you already went through that. So if you survive that, then you got some room here. Just hope that in the next couple of days, as you get closer to earning, this thing moves higher. So in case it does drop, you're not dropping lower, risking new money that you already haven't been down on, right? So again, not financial advice. You're in a tough spot, but I just hope this goes up for you, man. Here. And the part that sucks is that Google's going to come back. Like, it is going to come back. It is going to be back at 200. It is going back at 250. It's going up there. It's just when and how long can you hold, right? But it's going to happen, There's no doubt.
Keep an eye on Hertz here, just to see if Hertz does anything interesting. I don't know that it will, but
the stock was so brutal to Andrew on was it Thursday? I mean, it's just chopped them to pieces, man. Because look at it. Look at the way it trades. I know it seems clean right now, but you see how wicky it is. I mean, Peter, you know this from seeing so many charts. This might look clean to you, but every candle overlapping
put that on the
previous
active
candle. Oh, sorry. Let me get my VMix going here. There it is. Yeah, just every candle overlapping the previous candle is tough to hold through. So
it is.
And then you get a breakout, and look how deep this pullback is. Almost your break even. So this is tough. Very hard stock to trade, but we'll see. See what it does today.
NVIDIA got some sudden volume and action here. I'm not sure what caused that, but
yeah, I see.
Rocking and rolling.
NVIDIA here.
Close to the open.
All right, friends, as usual, just to let you know what I'm looking for. I don't trade before the 3 minutes. In case you're new, welcome to the channel. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up. So I'll be waiting 3 minutes. Then after, I'll look for some kind of breakout. And right after that for a 5-minute ORB. So that's the plan. And today, since a little bit, again, we got some stuff on here that's moving, but it's not a blockbuster list. I'll tell you that much. As far as the activity, so the names are great. But the setups right now don't look, I don't see anything I love at the moment. So we'll be looking to spot something that does look clean and hopefully give us an opportunity. So let's see. So Christine says, I said happy birthday to Brian on chat to test if it is his birthday, but no response. So unsure. All right, so
he seems to be ignoring that. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. He likes to keep it quiet, but we won't allow him to do that. If it is his birthday, we're gonna blow it up. So, all right, let's see. Right, perfect, friends. So the idea is so if your idea is to hold long term, then that's a whole different ballgame. If that was the plan to begin with, that's a whole different ballgame, right? But I agree, a lot of people didn't expect the drop to probably be so brutal given after tariff, right? So yeah,
right.
Completely understand. I need a quick dollar so I can fish before the rain starts here. I hear you. Hey, priorities, man. Priorities.
Yeah,
hope you get your
objective.
one and done. Hope you get your one and done. Yes. It's very good. And where is here, by the way? Where are you located? All right, let's see here. Yeah, the Pope passed, right? So I saw that headline this morning. So he passed last night. He had a lot of health issues, man. He was 88. So
who is this?
The Pope.
Oh, the Pope.
Pope Francis, yes. Passed away last night.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Was his Easter Day announcement too much for him? He was. I
don't know. JD Vance was there like a day ago, right? He was there yesterday, I think it was too. He got to speak to him, so I guess he was somewhat coherent, right? So it must have been sudden because if you're able to speak and have a conversation, so man, yeah, yeah. I find these jobs to be so tough, right? These or jobs we're calling, because at that age, man, to be doing everything you have to do as a Pope, can you imagine? At 88, it's tough. It's tough. It's not easy. It's not easy. But so hard to find them young. You don't get to that position at 55, you know. So they're not giving me that row at 55. Trust
I
me.
mean, you
Has it happened?
could,
What's
I
the
suppose.
earliest? You could. What's the youngest? We got GP Chat GPT. That. What's the youngest Pope that we have had? Um,
I don't know.
that's a good question. Might just look that up. All right, guys. 25 seconds to the market open. We'll get rocking and rolling here.
Indeed. All right. NVIDIA, I don't know. It just did this pop up and now it's hanging out here. That makes it interesting. Let's see what it does. I noticed AMD popped as well. Apple, interesting, also popped. Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla going the other way.
All right.
Here we go. All right, ding, 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 ding. Tesla. All right, we got our 1 minute, 5 minute.
NVIDIA is still moving up here. Is it going to try and reclaim 100? I don't know.
Let's see. Right, things are moving good. That's good. Netflix doing some stuff. AMD. Micro Algo taking off 980. This could be a good scalping stock if you like to scalp. So just be careful. Very, very low float. Keep your risk, accordingly there. Netflix is doing things here, moving up. Amazon not getting any love yet. Maybe a little bit later. NVIDIA not doing much. Overall market's just pulling back a little bit. So
Watching, see, now you got to be careful on Tesla. Watching Tesla, I was thinking right off the open, there was a good short in that, but you got to be careful with it because you just wait a minute and Tesla can always pop up. So now it's in the danger zone. Could go either way. Tough to tell.
Yeah, I like it long if it can get above the VWAP.
Netflix finally got some movement.
Yeah, it just took off. It's just this thing just took off, man. It gave us no opportunity here at all. But look at that. That is a big time move for Netflix. Let's see. I like Tesla's setup here. Maybe not right at the 3 minute mark, but I like this one above the VWAP if we can get it. PLTR, let's see. PLTR. Oh, this one too. This one could be good.
Yeah. A few things that are moving nicely here this morning so far. You got to be careful though. It's still very early here, so these moves may not be sustained. You just know what you're getting into, right? It's no trades for me. I'm just watching, just pointing out stuff that's moving. And sure enough, Tesla is pushing higher right now. Still down quite a bit from Thursday's close, but NVIDIA's looking ugly. Had that initial move up pre-market, and now look at the overlapping 1 minute candles, just right, just sitting there.
Let's see. PLTR. All right, so 3 minute mark. Looking for any kind of breakout here. I like Tesla, guys. This is not a 5 minute RB. This is a VWAP breakout above the VWAP. I like the highs and lows we're seeing here on the 1 minute. I'm going to show you guys the 1 minute. Here it is. Let's see if we can stay above the VWAP here. I really like this setup for a long. Don't like the SPY selling down here, so that's not good. We don't need that pressure on the SPY, so we're just gonna hold off a little bit. Let's hold off. Let's wait for the SPY to be in our direction. I don't like the way the SPY is selling here. Again, stocks could do their own thing, but what happens is I think sentiment overall, people look at it. People look at the SPY, and if they see the SPY doing something different, I think it does affect people trying to go long, you know? So, oh man, but it's making the move. The entry's here. All right.
What are you watching right here?
Tesla, yeah, Tesla. I missed my entry, man. Let's see. If he pulls back,
that's a tough truth.
I like it above the V up. This setup again, right? I look for them up, the down, the retest back up. That's my entry there. I missed it. We might get another shot here. Let's see on this pullback. We might get another shot. Now this will be a 5-minute ORB because our 5-minute range is created. But it's got to stay above the VWAP. Let's see here. The SPY is messy. Okay, let's see. Not liking that. Okay, glad I didn't pull this trigger on this. Not saying it's over, but that would have been a stop out. 5-minute engulfing on a Tesla.
It's always hard on the 5-minute, I find, because when you get these big wicks like that,
yeah,
you know,
this
do you
wick
call
is
it engulfing
nasty.
the body of the candle, or do you include the wick? So
Yeah. Look at the buyback though. See how quick it's just right back up above the VWAP. I think this thing wants to be long.
Carlos is trying to talk himself into it.
Yeah, I'm analyzing. This is what I would do if I was not live with you guys. That is exactly the conversation I'm gonna be having in my head, just like this,
All right.
not out loud. that'd be weird.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that loud.
But yeah, that is what I would be doing, just analyzing. But everything is pulling back a little bit here.
Yeah, I was watching Nvidia drop here as it broke through VWAP and was looking weak. It just not a little early for my comfort on a trade, but I was seeing the weakness. It's a shame now. It would have worked there. Could have been $1 to the good on this thing, but
nice.
But I did not take it.
Andrew is short Nvidia. Very, very nice. So Andrew short Nvidia already took a partial. He was short from like 98.30. So pretty good.
That's pretty much
good stuff.
Well, I was watching at 90, a little higher than that even. So I guess I should have pulled the trigger. Could have let Andrew into that trade.
You had a good one there, for sure. All right, Tesla fell apart here. And let's see. Wow, look at what is that? You saw the way just Tesla bought up like that? That is wild, man. It went from
that's the challenge. Tesla's hard. That's why I don't like Tesla at the open, because unless it's strong to the long side, it's got its fans, right? And they'll just they will buy this thing up. So you gotta be careful with it, especially trading it short. You better make sure it's weak.
Yeah. It is really all over the place right now. So I'm gonna leave this one alone, guys. It is messy at the moment. Yeah, that's not worth touching right now.
Tesla's
Amazon
right back down. Yikes.
Yeah, it's you can't trade that. You could scalp it, but for the way I trade, you can't really.
You'd have to be very fast on the buttons here. I mean, but you could, like you said, scalp it.
Pick wrestler. I put all my attention into a Tesla and missed Amazon. Yeah, I didn't see this. This is a great short here. A beautiful 5-minute RB breakdown, but wasn't focused in on it. Look at AMD's 5-minute candles here. What is this? This looks just terrible. for a 5-minute setup at the moment. Weird stuff.
Yeah, AMD's a mess here.
Yeah.
Just all over top of itself. Hertz is weak. Netflix had that initial pop up, and now it's, I don't know, just hanging around 1,000. Looks like 1,000 is where it wants to level off for the moment.
Yeah.
MLGO had a pop up, but it looks like, is it halted?
It's about to.
It is.
Now it is. Now it just got halted. Yeah. Yep. There it is. Halted on MLGO. First halt, so usually can open up higher. Doesn't mean it has to, but usually the first halt you get a nice little pop up.
Yeah, right now the imbalance is pretty much at the active price at 10.58, so it's not. Yeah, we'll see. He's got to get closer, so it's a minimum 5-minute halt, which means it won't be opening till 9:44 and 32 seconds would be the earliest it'll open. So maybe we'll come back to it then and see what it's doing.
Yep. All right. Let's see here. PLTR trying to go for another breakout here. We did get somewhat of a bull flag kind of ABCD pattern forming. For a breakout to trade here, not sure. Very strong, man. This is nice. Up 2%. Just shot right through the previous day close. Let's see if the buyers are joining this party on PLTR. It really seems to be doing its own thing here. Let's see. Wow, I can't believe I didn't find anything decent so far. Thought today was going to be much easier than that. The market is bad. Yeah, some things are... Actually, I can't say that. There were some good moves. Nvidia short was a good one. Andrew caught some of that. Peter even had a better entry. And Amazon short was a good one. But now it's getting messy. You're right. Now it's getting a little bit choppy. Let's see. Let's see where the action is. We just got to be patient. I don't want to force anything here. Things are not in their best setup. I'm glad Tesla we didn't go long because I was ready to go long on Tesla. It looked perfect, but it just struggled to stay above the VWAP and the market was not helping it. So that's why we didn't pull the trigger. Looks like it wants to go lower though here.
Tesla, yeah, it does. Looks weak.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, guys, I got nothing. I got nothing.
Netflix looking weak under the VWAP here. I don't know if that's one that you would like, Carlos, but I don't. Not my setup.
Yeah. How about you guys? What are you guys thinking? Earnings today? No, Tesla's tomorrow. Tesla earnings are tomorrow after hours. So we'll be live for that here on YouTube. That'll be fun. So yeah, you could have some uncertainty going into the earnings day tomorrow. But I find that these stocks, big stocks, right, big name stocks that usually get a lot of volatility and volume, can still trade well into earnings. Stocks that are usually dead, and earnings is what brings in the volume. Usually after the day of or the day before, they're not usually giving you much, right? Unless something was somebody spilled the beans, right? Somebody spilled the beans on what's happening, then yes, you're gonna have some movement. But for the most part, after earnings is when we get the action. So Tesla does look weak here. I just don't see a good risk to reward at the moment. I don't see it. And wow, I see Andrew looking at Hertz. Can we short that thing, or is it that thing on Hertz is taking a
Hertz,
dive
yeah,
here.
Hertz is
Yeah, we
dropping
do
here.
have. Yeah, we do have stocks available for short. It is on SSR. We just got to sit on the ask to fill. But yeah, this thing is getting destroyed right now, down 20%. Tesla short. I don't know, man. I don't like it here. The entry would have been anywhere up here. Here is not ideal for me to go short.
And that's part of the math that we do for ourselves every morning, right? It's
Yeah,
not that it won't necessarily go lower, but the risk to reward, right, is what we're talking about. So, can you get enough, reasonably expect enough of a return to make it worth the risk? So,
right, right.
Hertz looks weak right now and it looks short, but how much lower is it likely to go? Micro Algo reopened, by the way, a couple seconds ago, did pop higher.
Oh yeah, there it
Just that,
is.
right? So not much higher, but a
Mm-hmm.
little bit up. So yeah, you got to do that risk to reward, right? And that's part of what we talk about. Certainly through the P Capital Boot Camp, if that's something you're interested, or just in the chat room in a number of our webinars and stuff that we do at Bearable Traders. Just understanding, is it a good opportunity for me to jump into now? Because you can win on a trade, but again, over time, you want to make sure you're always getting into trades that give you the best opportunity for a positive risk to reward scenario.
Yep, yep. Amazon. I'm looking at Amazon. Amazon is good. I don't know if I would have traded it though. I don't think the pullback was big enough. Like when I would have been looking at it, I don't think I didn't get my usual type move like this. You don't see that very significant show there.
Yep.
So I don't think I would have taken this short. It looks great now, but I don't think it's one that would have been something I would have jumped in. The 5 minute looks great, but tough to tough. I would have jumped in that. Baba looking shortable, perhaps. Yeah, yeah, yep. It looks weak. I'm not sure if this is a short opportunity here. Spy seems to be driving things lower though, man. I'm starting to see Spy move south.
Markets seem weak today.
Yeah, so I wonder which one can give us the best risk to reward to join this party. I want to join this party, but I don't see which one. PLTR, if we lose the VWAP, could be the best one with the best risk to reward, but it's got to lose the VWAP, and right now it actually looks long more than anything. Let's see what it does. But that one seems to be the one that has the best risk to reward if we're in for a sell-off here. So SPY's lower. Again, new low on the SPY. NVIDIA, man. NVIDIA is nice. You guys in NVIDIA? NVIDIA is such a clean one today. Let's see. Hertz reversal. A quick one. Like it's reversing now, right? Depending what your style is. So yeah, it's giving you. We don't know if this is a reversal or a pullback. You don't know yet. It could be either one, and this is what makes reversals tough because this can be just a pullback to slam back down.
Wow, look at that.
And you just don't know. So
look at that. Micro Algo halted to the downside now.
Oh yeah. Ouch.
That's not good.
Ouch. Party's over before it started on this one. This is not good. UPXI was the other low flow that was active. They managed, it looks like, not to get halted somehow. They're still trying to move higher, so they're up 435%. So they got some decent volume here.
UPXI. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just.
Yeah, it looks like it wants to go too. Look at that. Looks like it wants to go to the high of the day.
Wow. Okay. The it's just it's going crazy on any given day when the RVol, the relative volume, just maxes out. So the
Yeah, look at
maximum
that.
it calculates is a 50,000% increase, and it's there. It's
Yeah, it's
50,000%. Like,
that's wild. They're trying to prevent it from halting here, but it looks like it's gonna halt. It's up, went from like 13 to 1450.
yeah.
So let's see. Uh, all right, guys. Yeah, looking to see where we can take a trade. But right now we're sitting in. A lot of these are sitting in a territory that I wouldn't touch them in, which is this middle. I'll show you here on Tesla. Basically, the low of the day, the VWAP. This middle area, I don't like to trade in. I find it to be the most difficult. So I either want to see the breakout above the VWAP or the breakout below here. And again, we'll see where it goes. But this middle area, which a lot of stocks are in, Nvidia, Amazon not quite getting there. Netflix breaking out looks good here above the VWAP. That's a tough area to be in. It really is. Netflix long maybe back to the half of the day. The lack of volume is so bad on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just watching, guys. I don't have any trades. I'm just waiting. It looks like my trade opportunities, if they come, are going to come later this morning. Probably have another 40 minutes before I find any decent trades, just based on my strategies. So that's okay. Gives me time to quietly assess the market.
Eric is feeling spicy today. He's trading UPXI. Good for you, man.
Oh, wow.
So he hit his target of 1450. So he got filled. Very nice.
Wow.
Very, very
Managed to get
nice.
filled there. There were not a lot of shares trading at the top end. So
Yeah.
that's
All right. Netflix. I like the setup here on Netflix. I like the setup. So this is like the breakout. You got somewhat, if you want to call this again, a pullback because you just don't get the volume and fluid trading action. This could be trying to head higher. Am I willing to sit here and wait? Is the question. Because that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get in. It's gonna take its sweet time. Let's see here. Tesla's moving lower. Yeah, Tesla's is weak. It is really weak here.
I don't see anything that I want to jump into, but like I said, I'm prepared for a longer wait here before I get into my key trades. It's just the
Yeah,
nature of the trading game.
there it is. Netflix pulling back. I didn't pull the trigger. I was close to that one, but yeah, I don't see it. Don't see it. PLTR running out of steam. Let's take a look. PLTR, yeah, heading lower here. Could be a good short. This is the one that has the best risk to reward because it's still right at the VWAP, right? So if you're gonna go long or short, the risk to reward is great on this one, and you got some room to grow to go here. The dollar and a half down, dollar and a half up easily. So this could be one. Going back below the VWAP here. Meta, yeah. Meta was weak, very weak too. Yeah, very similar to what we've seen in other tickers. But again, here is tough for me. Like I would rather short like a LPLTR because again, just the location of the VF for me, opposed to something that has already ran down and is making new lows of the day. Right, I think those are a little bit more tougher to trade.
Agreed.
Amazon was just so beautiful. Look at this, just holding on to that 9, back down. Man, 1 minute looks clean. 5 minute looks awesome. Was not paying attention, but again, I'm not sure if I would have traded this one. But this is so beautiful here. All right, PLTR. I think I'm gonna go short PLTR here. Let's see if we get to at least 93.75. So yeah, short PLTR. We're getting back below the VWAP. Let's see if we could just grind ourselves to 93.75. It's a dollar move. Let's see if we can get there. So again, it just seems like this is going to take a while though, so we got to be patient with it. You're long PLTR, we could both make money. Let me get my dollar down and then you get your $2 up. I'm good. We could both make money on this. Let's not fight over it, trust me. We'll both do something here together, right? So let me cover at 93.80 maybe. And then you can be on your way.
And then it's all yours.
It's all yours after that. Yeah, in fact, I go long. I'll try to help you go long too, if I can. Right? If I see a good reversal, I'll join the party. But yeah, let's go. 93. Previous day close is here, so we might struggle there. 93.78. Let's see if we can get there. And what's your entry, Regilio? Religio? Yeah. What's your entry? Because you could be in from like 93, right? So if you're long, you're probably taking a couple of partials. This to you could just be a pullback. So 334, 93, 34. Where are you long? Long PLTR. Anybody went long PLTR? Why are you guys going against me? Didn't you see what happened last week? Were you guys here in my live trading last week? I don't recommend to go against me just yet. Wait till I start losing. Wait till I start losing. This week has been... I'm just kidding.
Talking tough, man.
I'm just kidding. 100% joking around. I am not cocky at all.
You're getting your move lower, Carlos. So
yeah, I am. Let's see here. Previous day close is tricky, so I'm gonna make sure I take my partials very quickly. You know what? And even here, we already got 75 cents. I'm gonna take a partial here because this previous day close could mess us up. So partial there. Let's see if we could break lower. We can easily get a bounce to VWAP here, so we'll be careful. Let's see. Yeah, PLTR is a short right now, if anything, but I do not trade for my system. Oh, it does not trade for your system. Okay, yeah. I understand that 100%. This is why a lot of moves that are happening now, I can't take them because they don't fall, like you say, Pig Wrestler. They don't fall in my system. They have to be able to fall in your system. They could look good, but if you can plug them into your trade book, it doesn't mean anything.
Yep. True.
We have some ask at 94. Okay, they got filled. All right, this is good. Let's see, 93. Oh, this is nice. Okay, very nice. See if we continue to drop lower here. So another partial there.
You got your target.
And then that's our target. So we were looking for that dollar plus move there. Anything else is extra, so that'll be nice. But we'll be aggressive to not let this come back to above 94. Like we don't want to do this because this could shoot up pretty quickly, especially off the previous day close. Let's see if we can get 93. The ask, the bids. I'm sorry, I said the ask earlier. The bids are in our favor. I do see a lot of orders to the downside, so hopefully that can can drive things lower. And usually here you start seeing the battle because again we're at a technical level, so you can see the price increase already. There we take a partial here. You see the price the volume increase a little bit. It is Brian's birthday. He just admitted it now. Okay. Oh, he's showing pictures of his like cake yesterday. Or yeah, look at that.
There you go.
It is. You're right, man. You're on the money. Your source is correct, Peter.
Yeah. It's a big one, man. He's big 7-0.
7-0. Nice. Good for him, man.
Yeah.
Good for him. Brian's a good guy, man. Love hanging out with Brian. He's funny. He is funny,
Yeah.
man. Oh, my triangles went back to red. Yeah, let me make them bigger. I shorted here. I know you can barely see that, especially because I got 4K monitor, so it makes everything smaller. But hold on, I can't do that right now. I'll take care of that in a second here, guys. But yeah, here's my. I could zoom in like this.
Yeah,
There's my
the
short.
short gets hidden, but yeah, look at that. It's gone back to red. What happened to our pink?
I don't know what the heck happened. And I had them bigger too. I had them much
used
bigger.
a different config setup this morning. It looks like.
I think just use the default. Here we go.
I don't know.
There it is.
Carlos getting the move on his trade. So nicely done.
Yep. So this is paying off really nice. Again, and a lot of it was because of this risk to reward, guys, right? The VWAP, opposed to taking something that has already ran, it would just struggle more to get lower or get higher. So. No, Pickrest, that's not the case. No. But 4K is a problem for streaming. It really is. You don't understand the struggle, because everything, even our vMix software, everything is set up to 1080p. YouTube loves 1080p. We do it 1080p. It's less bandwidth. It's less memory. Recording in 4K, the memory's 10 times higher. I mean, it is a problem. It really is. So, and then the resolution is so small. For me, it looks good here, but when you translate it over, it's just bad. It's bad for streaming purposes. You do not want 4K monitors. You know, the only person that benefits is you. Everything else takes a hit. So, yeah, not bragging at all, man. Trust me. And 4K monitors are so cheap now. Like I remember back in the days, a 4K monitor was like $500, $600. Now, you could pick up an LG for like 200. You know, like they're. If it's not like a gaming 4K, like if it's just work 4K, right, they're so cheap now.
But seemed like a good idea at the time, eh? Now not so sure. No.
Yeah, Big Wrestler, I got you, man. I got you. All right, 93. Let's take another one here, guys. Another partial on a PLTR.
Wow. Thanks, Carlos.
So this is, man, we got way more than we expected on this thing. I thought we were going to struggle at that previous day close and maybe bounce back. But we got a really nice move here. So let's see. So right at 93, we got a great fill. That's awesome. Yes, Nate, the difference, I agree, is Hertz. This is 60. It's nothing. It's not going to be expensive. You're talking to, 240 and you're getting into that area. Yeah, you're looking easily can be an $800 monitor. So, yeah, no, I know because I was stupid enough to buy one for my gaming setup. It's ridiculous. All right, so coming back here, I'm going to be cautious. I guess we could leave it. You know what? Let's be patient. This is probably going to be my only trade today because I don't see anything else that look good. So I'm going to just 93.78 will be our stop. Let's just use the previous day close. Let's just use the technical level. If it keeps going lower, we'll take some more partials. I don't think 91.37 that's a very big stretch. That's the low of the pre-market. I want to say, is it? Yes, it is. Low of the pre-market. I think that would be a stretch. So, yeah, let's do 93.78 75 will be our stop. But if we see the price action doing something where it's going to go the other way, then we can just jump out. The bids though, the bids 60. We see huge orders at 93. Oh, it disappeared. Yeah, they went away. So
Wow, Google. Just looking back at Google here, made a great test to the underside of the VWAP, but at the same time, you took PLTR. It set
around
up
the
for a
same
good
area, yeah.
Interesting. Again, shame it's not my trade, but see that opportunity. MLGO looks like it's calmed down here a little bit.
Yeah. How about UPXI is trying to go back again? This stock is just look at the volume, 48 million.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You shorted Nvidia. Excellent. Where's our friend that wanted to go fishing? Hopefully he got his quick buck. He wants to get out there and get fishing
Maybe
ASAP.
he's out
So
fishing, yeah.
yeah, he's out fishing already. All right, so here's PLTR. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of it. I think this is good. This is good enough. Let's see. 93.75. Can the previous day close now become resistance?
I mean, it could, yes,
It
certainly.
could. Yeah. Definitely can. The 5-minute candle looks very funky though. Like if you look at this one here, it's a lot of buying pressure there. So that could be interesting. We do have a decent sized number of shares left, so let's do this. Let's just take a partial just in case. I want to go slower. Yeah, because that does make a nice difference here. Oh, maybe we are using as resistance. Look at the bounce off of previous day close, heading lower. So I'm gonna take a partial here just in case. Yeah, patience. Let's let it ride.
We're seeing weakness in the markets overall here, so
yeah.
I'm looking at it as a reversal trader, and I'm not seeing good signs of reversal yet. So
yeah. Would be nice if PLTR can make a new low here. Then we definitely are have a chance to head lower, but we need a new low on this 5-minute. If we can get that, that'll be. I mean, we have a great trade. It's an amazing trade, but that'll be awesome if we can see it go lower here. PLTR 935 candle, 935 candle reversal on PLTR.
that's that's a hard to catch the top like that. I think on PLTR. In hindsight, it looks great, but at the moment, it didn't look like a reversal to me, to be honest.
No, because we were even talking about going long on this thing, right? Right here, we talked about it being bouncing off the 9 and probably heading higher. So yeah, reversal there.
Again, you're not drawn on the active.
Sorry, the 1 minute here. Like we were talking about going long. If you guys remember, we didn't pull the trigger because the SPY was kind of salty a little bit, right? Heading lower. But yeah, that's a tough entry. Yeah, a lot of this is all about the entry, guys, right? Like, will you really make the decision when you're seeing the price action and everything else? And that's a tough one. And it's also early, too. Like, a lot of our reversals don't start happening until 10:30. It's just a tough one. It really is. It's kind of like what I saw on Amazon, right? So Amazon, great short here, but I don't see my setup here. I don't think I would have entered this short, right? Because the entry signal's not there, and then it just gets gone. I mean, Amazon down 4%. That is very, very nice and clean. Like, look how clean it drops, right? It doesn't come back and really test your entry anymore, which allows you to hold a little bit longer. Yeah, it's all about the entry and the stops. Absolutely. Covering most of my Tesla here, one and done. Beautiful stuff, man.
PLTR. Oh, or sorry.
What was that? Was that? Oh no, not me.
Oh,
Not me. I'm reading. No, I'm reading.
you're
That
reading. I
was
realized that after I said it. Yeah, that you were
yeah.
reading.
See, but I like that though. Peter's ready to to make sure we give good data to you guys. Love it, love it. I should have said YouTube chat. I should have mentioned that. Peter, can you talk a little bit about looking for reversals, please? And by the way, as Peter gets ready for that, TradingTerminal.com, guys. There's tons of free information here. One of them is Peter's reversal. Actually, I'll show you. I'll show you here. So if you go to TradingTerminal.com, Academy, excuse me, click on Academy here, and just watching my trade as well. And if you come in here and you click courses, and you see free material, right? Courses, free material. And you head on down, you look at, where are you, Peter? Peter, look at all the stuff Peter has here for you, right? So there's tons of information here with examples. Definitely take a look at those. Some really good ones there that are very helpful. But yeah, Peter, I mean, you got a great mountain pass reversal that people love.
I do, and for me, it's a very structured setup, so I don't have to guess about what I'm looking for. I've got again an approach that allows me to just wait for the right signals. Look, there's a bunch of different things that I look for. The key amongst them, just to share quickly, would be that I really want to see. I need a volume spike at the low of day, since we're talking about low of day type reversals here today, and I need a double test of that low. So the first time it hits, you never know, right? It could just go lower. So ideally, what I'm looking for is a big volume spike when it first hits that low of day, and then a retest on lower volume. That usually gives me the confidence to take a long in this case and say the market might be changing perspective. So right now, we're starting to get into the front end of the time that I normally look for. There's a time component to this. I don't normally look for reversals earlier than about 10:15. Usually around 10:30 to 11:15 is when I find they happen. So we're at the front end of that zone. So it's worth starting to look for them. But I miss lots of opportunities just because they don't meet my criteria. I mean, you could say, look at the bounce on Apple, for example, right? Or even Tesla has a little bit of a bounce, but it didn't. Neither one of those gave me the volume signal, which was the first thing that I'm looking for. Again, there's other things that I've got there as part of my pattern. Best if you go to those webinars and check them out. It'll give you all the details in the Mountain Pass in terms of what I'm looking for and what the setup should look like. But those are probably the core elements.
Yep.
That's what I got for you. Makes my life easy, right? Because I'm not. I'm not stressing over it. I'm just waiting to see if it works, great. If it doesn't, keep waiting.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right, well, you guys did. So a lot of you guys took Tesla short, are covering now. I'm hearing Tesla's pushing higher. Let's see. Yeah, Tesla's getting a little bit of a bounce of 224.21. That is the low. What is that? It's a daily level, actually. Ah, man, Tesla is getting hammered. PLTR, again, as it levels off here, it might just be time to bail on it, just because it might just be showing signs of reversals. And you know what? I am going to get out of it, because what happens is with this one, so let's jump all out on this one. It'll just shoot up and it'll go to like 94, if it's going to reverse. It could be so
that patience we just talked about.
Nah, I'm out. I'm taking my money and running. Oh, yeah, I'm out.
All right. Look, I did a whole webinar about that. Actually, I was talking about that in Vancouver when we did our live summit. Take the money and run, baby. There's nothing wrong with that. So
take the money and run. It's nothing like starting off the week right. There's so many things, but starting off the week right, one and done. And we got a good move. I think, like, even if it runs lower, how much lower can it go here? Am I willing to sit around and wait? So it's just not worth it. So yeah, we'll take it and run. Where was it? My stop. So if you could see my entry. Now we could do this. Now we can make the triangles much bigger. Now that I'm out of a trade, so let's make the triangles 6. And why did I? change. I use the same layout, I believe, right? The slow default again. What happened? Not sure what happened. All right, so data config, no, chart area. And we're gonna make this 6, and then our triangles will make them where's the triangles? Where's the color of the triangles? Here. No, that's the line. Short triangle. Okay, here we go. Got it. We have pink, which was in gray. How about purple? Is it like purple? Let's do purple. Let's do, yeah. Not by much, but it's there. So yeah, we got a great entry on the VWAP. So our stop above like technical levels here. This moving average, this candle. So again, we're looking for previous day close. So that's about 1 to 2. I'll say, yeah, about 1 to 2. We got well more than that, but we're looking for at least 2 on this one, and we did. So again, that's my stop. But if I would have seen it doing like slowly making higher highs, higher lows here, even before hitting my stop, I would have pulled the trigger, because it's just the patterns changing and it's using this as VWAP, right? So we're looking for a really nice breakdown right away. We did get it. But if we started doing highs and higher lows here, just kind of hanging around here, then I probably would have bailed out of the stock too. I would not wait for my stop on it. So PLTR fighting, yeah, it's starting to get above it here. I am seeing higher highs, higher lows. It can go either way. It can head back towards the low of the day again. But I think the party might be over. So I'm out of it for now. All right, let's see here.
So we got some volume on Nvidia at the low of day, talking about our reversals, but it didn't give me the bounce back and a retest. And in fact, it's just sort of continuing lower here. So I already broke my my reversal pattern. So I don't think Nvidia's ready. I see the market continues to look weak here. Wow, you got a good move down. You had a great entry on that, Carlos. Shame about that patience.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Look, I know. I started. You know what happened? We'll work on it. But I started looking over, and I'm seeing. Okay, I'm seeing the P&L. And I'm not trading the P&L like that, but I was looking at the P&L. When it goes here, it's doing this. When it goes there, it's doing that. I don't want to give more back if it goes up. Yeah. So it looked good. I was just like, let's just take it. Just take it. Be done with it. But I am glad I took this partial here, right? Because this partial is closer to the low. So that's, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that is almost 40 cents, right? So I'm really glad I took that there and then set the stop here. So we'll see. Yes, there is a downtrend. Yeah, definitely a downtrend. It's struggling with the previous day close, at least PLTR is. So if it breaks down from here, then you can see a nice little flush. Also, I was very cautious that I know some people said they were long, so I don't want to be the reason why this thing doesn't go up. So I want to root for them now. If you're still long in this thing, I want it to break out the previous day close and crush it back to the high of the day for you. So, all right, let's see here. Carlos, what is the name of the strategy of this PLTR trade? I can't find it in Elite Memo. So this, you might not find it because I learned this strategy from Andrew way back when. And I don't know what they name them now, but these are, Peter, you remember this because you've been in it as long as I have as far as bear with traders, probably a little bit longer. The VWAP breakouts. These are remember those VWAP breakouts Andy used to trade all the time? This is what this is, right? So it is a VWAP breakout. I don't think we have those there anymore. But this is what this is, right? So, and they're tough strategies because how can I put it? Everything could look like a VWAP breakout, but not everything is. Wow, look at PLTR. I should have had patience for sure. 92.60, 68. Ooh, nice drop. Everything could look like a VWAP breakout. There's got to be it goes back to this again, this drop, this test, the breakdown again. It goes back to that. I like to see that flow. You have something like this, Peter, called the lightning ball pattern as well. It's
Yeah,
somewhat very similar
absolutely.
to this. So when I see this out of VWAP, it can be a potential. It just can be, oh, we come down to the VWAP. I'm going to go short here on a VWAP breakout. It's not the way you want to do it, right? So there's got to be like that sense of a pattern where, okay, we tried it again, we're not breaking it. Sometimes happens very quickly, like you see me do this in the 3 minute, the punch through candle, the pull back, kind of holding the candle, the view up, and then on the push back up, that's my signal to go long. You see the same thing. It's a very tight lightning bolt type pattern, right? But it's a VWAP breakout as well. So, oh, it's in the book. That's right. It is in the book still. Correct. So the VWAP breakouts are in the book, in his earlier books as well. And that's kind of what this is. So wow, look at the drop on PLTR right to 92.50, and 92.57 to be exact.
Yeah, it bounced right off of it. I've got a level there. What was the level? Thursday's tinfoil line. Interesting.
Yeah, Pig Wrestler 100. We can't stress enough how big the trade book is, and this is why P Capital. That's what we do at P Capital. Our number one goal there is to make sure you leave with a solid trade book. Like there's no questions on what your trades should look like going forward, what you're taking, what you're not taking. Like that's the point. You got to have a solid trade book to start, building on consistency and success, right? You don't have a solid trade book, you're going to struggle. And that's what it is. My trade book is very solid in the things I'm looking for. I know what I want to see. I know what I'm not going to take, regardless of what the price action is doing to us and showing us. I'm looking for very specific things, right? So the trade book, you got to have a trade book, right? One of our mentees, Peter, he's crushing it, man. Andy, he's just doing so well. So very, very nice. I'm sure
Good.
others are as well, but he shares his stuff over on the chat a lot, and he's doing awesome, man. It's good to see.
All right. We're getting closer here into reversal territory. I'm seeing things slow down on this drop. Markets are down 2%. It's a big pullback here on the North American markets. Half of that is from the pre-market gap, of course. It just gapped that way, and then the other half has been moving since the opening bell. So
I always love the ads I get here. So today I got an ad for men over 50 workouts in a chair. I'm like, okay, I'm not there yet, but it came up again. They are listening to me, Peter. It came up again.
Well, I get those all the time. Yeah, I know that dude.
You work out with him
that stuff all the time.
So I'm just getting those now.
All
And
right.
what's the other one I got? I forgot the other one I got. But yeah, it's just weird, man, how they are trying to target me. So funny. Guys, over on YouTube, thank you so much for being on. Hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate it. We're going to be on for a little bit longer. And then Andrew coming around 10:30. He'll let you know what he did. And then we have Lenny. Lenny will be in today as Paris is on vacation. So stick around. Still a lot more to go on. Still opportunities out there. Even more opportunities. If things continue to get extended, it gets even better because now that makes reversals a lot easier for us. So let's hope it keeps dropping here. Let's hope it keeps going. Amazon and Nvidia were the trade of the day, man. I mean, it doesn't get cleaner than those two, at least from what I have on my list. And I know you had Nvidia on your sites, man. I know that one was you was getting ready for that one. But yeah, those two, wow, so clean. from the start. Meta, yeah, same thing. Meta from the start, because we were watching Tesla, and Tesla just gave us a tough time. Like, yeah, it sold off after, but here, if it just gave us a really tough time with all that choppiness. Finally broke down, but it was not an easy one. Do we think this drop is because of China news? SPY volume is up at 30%, so might be just a pullback. Yeah, it's definitely part of that. I mean, that's the biggest news catalyst there is right now, is tariffs, right? I mean, we're going into these earnings, and even the companies that did well in the past, like they're reporting great numbers, good earnings, profitable for like who knows how many quarters in a row, especially the banks, and they're still not reacting like a win. And some of them are pulling their future forecasts. A lot of them are doing what United did, giving you, hey, if this happens, this happens. If that happens, this happens, right? So again, it just goes to show you that uncertainty, and you just don't know. But a lot of it's all tariff right now, all tariff news. Pig Wrestler, I lost track of what the tariffs are at the moment. We had a good chart, Peter. You had like I remember you showed us a couple of weeks ago. You had like this thing.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore. I don't because I think they're up to, what are they, 245% on China last I heard. But then of course there's certain goods that are, they said not excluded, but are going to go under a different tariff regime, like the laptops and smartphones. So anyway, look, the tariffs are just having a massive drag on this market, right? Like the U.S. economy is well, hey, actually, it's hard to say what the impact is on the economy, because that always takes a while, right? It takes a while to move through. Mm-hmm. The market reacts very quickly, and look, whether it's warranted or not, that's what happens. The market reacts. So we're certainly, there's no arguing that the market has taken a significant downturn, that it's held here since this whole, since this tariff war has begun. It was initiated. So. Who knows where this is going to go? I mean, we're down this morning, and look, I mean, if I'm just looking at a daily here on the Qs and the SPY, we've had some big green candles amongst that too, right? So you do get like up days, as they always say. The largest up days are actually usually in the big downturns, but you get like 3-4 down days, and then one big up day, and then a bunch of down days. And that's sort of what we're seeing, right? We had this one big day back on the 9th of April when things popped up, but then we've been sort of leaking off largely ever since. So I don't know, like the tariff news in general is definitely having a drag on the market, but again, where's everything going to go ultimately? Tough to tell. We've never been here before. We've never done this. Speaking of things that we've never done, look at MLGO up at the high of day right now.
Wow,
this thing's crazy, man. I can't.
Where are we going?
I think we're
halted.
We're paused.
Yeah,
halted again, just a couple of seconds ago. So, wow, this is hard to manage. I don't know how people trade these things. I mean, good on you if you can, but that's really hard.
Yeah. Yep. Is that facts? Trump is scheduled to speak at 10:30 this morning.
Is he? I didn't see that on my economic calendar. It's possible. Let's see. Briefings and statements. What is today? 21st.
All right, we're getting into that reversal time frame, reversal territory. So let's see if anything, sets up nicely for that. NVIDIA. I can tell there's some tariff talks going on in the chat too, because I see just the comments that are happening. You could tell some tariff talk taking place. All right, where's NVIDIA going? Lower? My goodness, this is good. We did have a great day today, though. Today was a really good day. It took a bit to get going. I spent too much time on Tesla. Should have looked elsewhere. But we did have a good day. Some good opportunities. Here. And it should get better. As earnings come in throughout the week, it should get much, much better. So, looking forward to today. Often your best trade comes after 11. Nice. Rob, good morning. Welcome. NVIDIA. Yeah, NVIDIA is wild right now. I mean, I think it's one of the better moves today was on NVIDIA. Really, really nice. I think future outlook will hurt a market this week. I don't know, actually, DEF. I don't know, because I think, see, if you're a company and you know your outlook is negative, so this is what you do. You just pull it. You just blame it on tariffs, right? You just say, hey, given tariff, we need more time to. Yeah, right. That's what I'm doing, Peter. If I know, listen, we're gonna suck in the next couple of days. pull the forecast, and nobody's gonna get mad at you for doing that. So that's what I think. That's what you're gonna see with a lot of companies. Like, no company should report a bad forecast. If they can get away with it. So
it's definitely a unique market conditions where you can actually pull your forecast and not provide forward-looking guidance, and generally not be punished for it, right? Like it's usually in times past you wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah.
You would have. The expectation would be that you always have an active forecast. In this day and age, you can actually get away with it. So why not take advantage?
Because the move is so drastic, and some companies, realistically, they really don't know, like how they're being honest. Like, some companies don't know like how this is going to affect them, because they're not seeing it now. It could all be fine and dandy, but a few weeks into this quarter, things don't get fixed. Then you start seeing people buying less and less and less, and you're gonna see, the negative effects then. And that's kind of like what the Fed is waiting for. They're like, hey, we don't want to bring the rates down because we don't see it yet. They want to get more confirmation, which usually comes a little bit late. So necessarily pulling your outlook is negative during normal circumstances. Absolutely. If it's normal circumstances and we don't have tariffs in place and you pull your forecast, yes, your stock is dropping because something's wrong that you're not telling us, right? But during uncertain conditions like this one, it's not really looked at as negative as it would be on a regular time. So 100% agree with you there. But this is not the case, man. We're in uncharted territory. I've never been through any trade war before, at least where I was paying attention and that it mattered. I mean, like I said before, I was 2008, financial crisis happening. I have no clue what's taking place. I'm having a good time, buying my first car. I'm just not aware. And it's funny, the way I bought my first car, Peter, I went to the dealership and I told them, well, I want this color and I want this trim. And it's like, oh, we don't have it. All right, so just call me whenever you get it. Like, there was no pressure to get anything, right? And he called me like 6 months later. I went back to look at the time. Wait a minute, this is when things were actually starting to get bad. And I didn't care. He called me like I was at the airport. I'm like, oh, perfect, man. I'll pick it up next week or something. And he probably dropped the price and found it because he knew things were going to go south quickly. So he's like, oh, I got one here. But again, they didn't affect me at all. So, it's just interesting when you know about it, how aware you become and how it can drive your sentiment. But if you're not aware of it, if you're not affected by it, it just doesn't even matter. you know.
All right.
So it's just interesting. Yes, we are. Absolutely, Billy. Absolutely. And then there's other people that during this time that are sitting on cash that have been through a few of these, that this is when they make their most money, right? Because they know eventually the market's going to bounce back. They're sitting on cash. They'll start buying all these things at a discount long term, right? And they'll make a boatload. Like, you know, so there's an opportunity everywhere. It's just what's your plan? What's your plan for it, you know? So going long PLTR, I don't know. We're in this middle territory now. We're in
Yep.
this area where I don't like to trade. I personally don't like to trade here. Which chart am I showing? I'm showing you the 5 minute. Yeah, we're in this middle zone, man. Like the low. Actually, we're a little bit lower. We're a little bit better than I thought it would be. But unless you get like a definite pattern for a long, you could be just stuck in chop here for a little bit. So let's see.
Yeah, I'm not getting. We're getting some reversals here, but I was not getting my reversal signals that I'm looking for. So, unfortunately, I'm still sitting here not having traded this morning. Missed
Yep.
that drop down on things. MLGO opened again a couple minutes ago, and it's just hanging out here.
Yeah.
Up 74%.
Yeah.
Wow. This thing at the end of March, this thing was up as high as $32.
Don't diddle in the middle. That's right. Someone mentioned that last week. That's funny. Don't diddle in the middle. That's what we're gonna call that. Don't diddle in the middle. Very good. Very good. Hertz could have been along there. Yeah, Hertz. Let's take a look. HTZ. And as we're taking a look at this guy's over on YouTube, how many likes we have today? It's Monday. Usually Mondays are a little bit higher. Let's see. Pulling up here. 250. That's okay. But if you haven't had a chance to do it, that'd be awesome. If you could slam that thumbs up. We'd love to we got 700 people. I think we can get to probably 400. That might not be too much to ask. So if we could do that, let's try to get to 400. That'd be a nice goal to kind of start the week. We really appreciate it. Long Hertz, I don't like this stock. I'll tell you. I don't like it. I don't like the way it trades. I don't like anything about it.
Yeah.
I stayed away. I do. It's just so bad, man. It really is. For day trading,
I mean, in
bad.
hindsight, you look at it and you say, what a great reversal here. But I don't know. I don't know how you would have taken. I don't have signals to have taken that. So
it's such a crappy stock, man. I don't like it. I really don't. RGTI is being mentioned here. This one, yeah, at the VWAP. Let's see if we can get some kind of breakout. The reversal is done from the lows of the day into the VWAP now, so that's a good move. But again, is it worth it? What is this? 10 cents, guys. This is a 10 cents move. So I don't know. I think there's better things out there to trade. So, because to make this worth your while, you got to load up on shares, and you're better off taking less shares and trading something that's going to move quicker. So I'm not sure here. Above the VWAP breakout, this could be nice going into 820. For 20 cents, I feel like that is yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure. Rigetti spaghetti. It's funny because they can move much better than this. They have in the past. Again, just you know what it is? I get it. The volume is no longer here in this thing. See how low it has been for April, lower than March, way lower than February, and of course you can even top what we did in January. This is just outrageous. I mean, we had some really good volume there. So, not sure. That's a tough trade, I think. Let's see what we got here. Well, Amazon.
As it turns out, Carlos, you didn't do too bad getting out where you did. Still think you could have held on.
Yeah, I could have definitely held on because even this drop here would have been worth the hold. Like 92.50,
Right.
that's worth the hold, right? So I think it should have been more patient, just kind of stuck to the plan. Previous day close was a stop. That's the technical level that should have followed. Um,
All right. Good morning, everybody.
hey, good morning, Andrew. How you doing?
I am not doing well. I lost a lot of
No.
money today.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I'm in a
We
very good
couldn't.
losing streak. I think it's the end of it.
No, no,
Back
no,
to 9 to 5.
no way. What did you trade?
I traded the biggest loss that I had was on today on TSLL, but I'm long Tesla, TSLL, and NVDA. So if you
Yep.
can get a bounce, we get somewhere. Uh,
Yeah, it's reversal time, so hopefully things get going. All right, let's
Yeah,
make sure
let's
we
see
got
reversal
Brian.
time. Market is doing a reversal. So Nvidia is doing pretty good. Let's see if TSLL. I'm down $27,000 on it, but we'll see if you can get this pop on it.
Yeah, so we'll
So
see
how's
what
everybody
happens.
doing on
We're
YouTube?
kind of doing a 920 here. What's going on YouTube?
Well, we're just watching the markets, waiting to see what's going to happen next here. Nvidia's getting a bounce. Watching the MLGO craziness.
Oh yeah, there's been people have been
MLGO.
mentioning it, MLGO.
This
Yeah,
is micro
it's been
algo. Yeah, we
halted.
were trading it. We were trading it many times in the past. Yeah, it's been since mid March. It's going crazy.
Yeah, what is microalgo? Yeah, what is the? You've got another crazy trader today, UPXI.
UPXY. Yeah, UPXI. Yeah. It's the company. What is that company doing? Brand owner engages in the development, manufacturing, distribution of consumer products in pet, surgery, recovery, skin, so pretty much everything, huh?
Big money in pets. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. Appreciate the birthday wishes. Thank you, Bianca.
Yeah, that's right. Happy birthday, Brian, man. Awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, another birthday. Another year closer to death.
Jeez, man. Come on.
That's actually true. That is the statement that is
No, it's
true. It's,
100% true, but like,
um, I mean, we
it's too
can
early,
argue
too
that we
early.
should say it or not, but that it was a true statement. Um, all right, NVIDIA, guys, I'm still
Yeah,
long
that's true.
NVIDIA. So 96.50, there's a big ask. It's popping up. Nice, Darren. Very nice. VSLL, I'm still hoping that it can pop up a little bit more.
Had a bit of a pop up here on the SPY and the Qs. So I shorted Tesla at the open, so I got a fairly decent trade there. And then I did short I shorted the SPY with SPX puts, which are pretty crazy to trade. Kind of have to have a strong stomach to trade those. But Avi in the room traded just SPY puts, so they're not quite as volatile. Probably might have been a better way to trade that drop, but a little less risky. You could have. It's easier to control your risk with trading the QQQs or the SPY options.
How was everybody's day? I know,
Thank you.
Baron, you made money on NVDA. That's nice. SPY and Q's options. Yeah, no, it was a tough open. At least for me, it was. PLTR opening was amazing. I think the best trade was PLTR right at the open.
Yeah, PLTR was great. That was the one thing that was kind of distracting for me because I had a swing trade going on PLTR. If you been following me last week, and then on the weekend video mentioned I did have that as a long position. So I did sell a lot of it. I still have some. Looking at the chart, I wish I'd have sold it all, but whatever. So SPY back at pretty close to low of day here. That was a pretty significant rejection right at the 9 EMA. I still see a big order on Nvidia at 95. I don't know if we actually are gonna get there, but um,
Wow, Eric, nice trading. You got UPXY at 11. Wow.
yeah,
Congratulations, Eric.
that was a good trade.
Yeah. I'm gonna add a little bit on NVDA. See if NVDA can do a pop up. 96.32. My new average on NVIDIA is 96. Hopefully it doesn't stop me out.
Yeah, UPXY, it looks a little scary here. It's hard to say where it's going to go. A million shares in the float. It's been getting pushed around a lot. Man, it's really hard to price action is just so jumpy. It's really difficult unless you catch those early. Later in the day, they become more choppy. There's less volume. You had some nice volume at the open on UPXY. Sometimes these are stocks that'll just trade sideways for a while and then they'll start to break out again. But you kind of got to watch them all day, which is wow. PLTR just took a big drop. So just like we were saying earlier with looking at the heat map and trading terminal, the uh, the heat map, I mean, there's just very little place to hide here today. We've got a couple of consumer defensives like Philip Morris and Coke that are green. We got Netflix green, but just barely. Um, it really had a nice, good earnings report Thursday after the close, but really hasn't been able to hold those gains at all. I think in the room, I believe Megan, one of our moderators, Megan was shorted Netflix. So it dropped as soon as he got in. I know I tried trading AMD, tried trading it as a 920, just around 915 or 1015, I should say.
I'm
And
getting out of my
just
NVIDIA
popped up
long,
enough to
guys.
stop me out before it
I'm
sank.
getting out of NVIDIA long.
Yeah, it looks
Pretty
like
in-
Tesla's back. It's near the low. So that little rally that we got, probably some short covering. The sellers are still in control here. SPY is actually making a new low and is heading lower. Qs are at low of day and probably heading lower as well.
Spy.
Wow. PLTR isn't getting a lot of love, that's for sure, at this moment. All right, Hamid, you're in SQQ. That's depending where you got in there. If you got in early, it's a winning trade today for sure. Yeah, SQQ has been a good trade. We did get that little bit of a bounce there just 10 minutes ago, but a rejection at the 9. EMA showed you still in a downtrend. Same with the SPY. All those moving averages are sloping down, so we're still trending down.
Yes, so SPY is making new low of the day. SPY down 2.2, probably leading by NVDA.
Hassan's asking about how you control dopamine after getting a winning trade. I mean, that is the plight of the trader, right? The constant mental battle, and it's not just mental. There's chemistry going on there too. And that's what made separates a makes a good trader is being able to control your emotions. Staying cool. Now we're still leaking lower here. Just watching Nvidia leak lower. Big order. There's some big orders at 95.50. And we're trying to bounce here again, sort of low of day. Yeah, it seems like it. We're kind of trying to find a bottom here, maybe. As I mentioned earlier, I kind of feel like this is one of those days where you get a hard sell off. We'll get some consolidation. And then as we get into the back end of the day here, you're going to watch the indexes kind of start to leak off and head
Mm-hmm.
lower. And we may go out at sort of low of day. It's kind of feels like that kind of a day. So we'll see what the market looks like later in the day as we get into the afternoon. But if we get a bit of a rally back and then some consolidation, just watch for the consolidation levels, the highs and lows. Because like I said, as we get into the back end of the day, sometimes, the sellers will start to step back in. And we'll go out maybe near the low of the day. But for now, it looks like the SPY is continuing to be weak. There's just doesn't seem to be anybody wanting to step in and buy here. Same with the Qs. I think we're going to take another leg here, lower. Almost, it kind of feels that way. Yeah, there goes Tesla back at that 225 area. Okay, well, I'm not taking any positions right now. We're kind of extended from selling, and we're getting into a bit of a choppy part of the day here. So kind of had the big moves, the big predictable moves. So kind of just sitting on my hands right now. Yeah, Nvidia is kind of trying to move up here. The bids keep stepping up on Nvidia, so I think there's some bit of buying here. PLTRs trying to pop back up. Right. Well, I am going to, I'm not going to do any of the other trades right now. I'm not, Andrew stepped away, so I'm not really, uh, like I said, I'm not doing any other trades. Looks like we're kind of getting a bit of buying here. But again, I'll be watching later in the day to see if we sort of get into a sort of a consolidation range and then just watch for a breakout from that range as we get into the end of the day because kind of feels like a day unless we get some news flow we might start to break down again and go out near the low of the day or even lower. But right now we're getting a bit of buying. What are you up to? In any trades, your monsieur?
I'm still on TSLL. I'm still in TSLL, and I had a pretty bad day. So um, I think I'm gonna. I don't think I'm gonna come back to green. Seriously down. I'm negative $33,000, which is normal these days. But yeah, so I think we're handing it over to Thor in the chat room, and you two
Right.
guys, thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks, Peter, and I'll see
Yeah, thank you.
how we can actually. Yeah, tomorrow hopefully we're gonna be a better day. Ciao.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna disconnect and chat. Throw a
All right.
breather, and Lenny is gonna jump on here
See you
on
guys.
YouTube. Yep, later, Brian.
Yeah, Lenny had a good day, so I'm sure he'll have some thoughts to share about what he traded. Hey, Lenny.
Hey guys, hey Brian, happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. 33 years old, right?
Yeah, that's
25.
I'm
25.
going backwards.
That's good. It was an interesting
Anyway,
trading
all
day.
right. We'll talk. Yeah, it was. I'll talk to you later.
Have a great day. See you later. Bye-bye. Yeah, hey guys. Wait, I'm going to get the YouTube on my phone as well so I can see your questions and your comments. It was a very interesting day today. I finished a bit in the green, tiny bit. I'm sharing my screen. Let's discuss today my watch list, what I had on my, what did I trade and why did I trade and why didn't I take? One moment, guys. And why I didn't trade some of the setups on my watch list either. One moment, guys. I'm going to get Babel Traders on my phone to see your comment. How was your day? What did you guys trade? Interesting things happening, right? I already felt like it could become very weak today. If you're still taking, because we had, first of all, there were the tariff talks between Japan and the administration last Thursday, Friday, and there was nothing concrete specifically coming from it. And also in China, Huawei, they are now targeting NVIDIA's market share by releasing a AI chip, which also wasn't the best. I noticed the dollar was down, and also, of course, the market didn't like the attempts from the US administration to influence the Fed, Powell. So I felt there was not too much great news this morning. And also Tesla reported that they were going to delay the launch of a certain model. Yeah, so the pre-market already looked quite weak. Let's take a look at my watch list and why did I trade and why I didn't trade it. Okay, now I see all the comments, guys. So Amazon took a nice short. I see somebody traded Amazon, somebody traded PLTR. I actually also trade PLTR. Somebody took shorted NVIDIA. Yeah, so let's take a look at everything. So many things happening, right? Also, the US dollar also took a hit this morning. So somebody's in Apple right now. Yeah, I had like one position left in Tesla, but I just got stopped out at break even for my final position. I thought it could move all day. But let's start with the beginning. So what did I have on my watch list? I had Amazon, Apple, AMD, NVIDIA, and Tesla. But in the end, I traded actually PLTR and Tesla. I took PLTR for long, and I traded Tesla for short. So why did I trade PLTR? Well, because you can see my screen right now, right? We see the extreme strength after the market open. And actually, yeah, I don't think I would have traded it, but in the first 5 minutes, I had to restart my DAS because some of the charts were not, apparently the candles were not printing, were not loading. But you see really this extreme strength in PLTR, right? The late pre-market was already strong. First candle strong, second candle, a lot of volume, bigger in size than the first candle. And at that point, of course, we're also way stronger than the SPY. You see, because the SPY in the second candle actually engulfed the Qs in the second candle were trading more or less at the first candle. So PLTR looked super strong. And I think also I know some guys who took it long after the second minute, which is I think like a nice 2-minute ORB, just following trading with the momentum, right? And the third candle also okay, closing strong, not bigger than the second candle, but firm volume. Fourth candle closing at the high, smaller, even more volume. So I might would have taken there, but there back then I was like rebooting my my software, but I still don't think I would have traded it. Then we saw like a little pullback, nice trend line. You see the bottoming here, reverse head and shoulders, volume decreasing. So we moved up, and I thought at this point I could try it for a long because I got a very good risk to reward, right? I would put my stop loss below the previous candle. There was at that point, there was the momentum, good risk to reward because I didn't took it at the break of the high of the day, but I took it before the high of the day. And I think I could have easily get like a decent risk to reward, but at that point it turned around and PLTR did a move. But at that point we also had the relative market strength, so 939. Yeah, you see like market 939, like the SPY was still selling off, but PLTR was holding. Yeah, still I find it a little bit of a steep pullback after the move up, but also like the trend line was holding. We saw like it, so basically we see like an extremely strong move up in PLTR, a pullback, but the pullback was really like it was like a bear channel, right? Like a trend to the short side, changing in a bottoming pattern, two hammers, reverse head and micro reverse head and shoulders from the bottom, and the price actually moved up. So I thought it was okay. Very tight stop loss, so good risk to reward. So it wouldn't been difficult to get to a target and even let it run. So that was my first trade of the day. I only traded 2 trades actually today. And then actually PLTR showed a lot of weakness. So that was my first trade. My second trade was in Tesla, and I think it was a pretty beautiful setup. So why did I trade Tesla? First of all, Tesla had a catalyst, right? This new model that they have some delays. By somebody asked why you're not showing your entry exit. My entries and exit are shown, right? You see like the triangles. So you should see my entries on the chart and also my exit. So anyway, so Tesla, they had a catalyst, this model that they delayed. Not sure which was the model, but then what did we see? Very interesting. Tesla looked very weak in the pre-market. Look at this price action, right? What do we see in the pre-market? Zooming it out a little bit, you see just really selling off. You could see like perhaps like a triangle, right? The price contraction, but basically we see really lower highs. Also not too big waves. So the volatility was not that high, just like selling off, forming a tight range at the end. And in the late pre-market, we were also showing weakness. And what happened? What did the rest of the pre-market do in the late pre-market? See, the last couple of minutes and Tesla were actually very weak. I hope you can see it. So the last couple of minutes, Tesla went down. And what did the SPY do? The SPY went actually up in the last couple of minutes, right? Before the market opened, you saw like something of a squeeze happening. And also in many of the other tech names, the same. Apple actually squeezed also pretty hard. Nvidia squeezed right before the market opened. Apple squeezed. Right, look at the squeeze in Apple last 4 minutes before the market opened, really strong. But Tesla didn't squeeze. Tesla actually held very weak, closing almost the pre-market low. Then the first minute, Tesla remained weak, while the rest of the SPY moved up. So I already felt like Tesla gave some signal, the catalyst, and had some signals of being extra weak. Then yeah, the market was very choppy actually. I don't like this, right? You see like a lot of overlap in the candles. There's a lot of overlap, and I see, by the way, a question. So what is the question? What's your trading strategy that allows you to trade for only 30 minutes? So I trade only the first 30 minutes. I trade the morning volatility. Trade when like really the volume is there, when there's a catalyst, when a lot of market participants try to get in or try to get out. I read the price action and I try to jump in, or with strength or with the weakness, right? So in this case in Tesla, we had the catalyst, potential volume. There was some elevated volume in the pre-market, not too much. Actually, volumes were relatively low this morning. Then we see choppy in Tesla, choppy price action. Yeah, I cannot really do a lot with it, but here at this point we saw I think we see an interesting breakdown at 950. You see increasing volume, firm volume, breaking down, increasing size of the candles, closing at the low. And at that point, the market was actually holding a bit stronger, right? You see, like that point, SPY was still above its intraday low. Qs were also still above its intraday low. But Tesla at that point was already breaking far below it, right? Very aggressively. So that, okay, now we got even more signs of weakness besides having the catalyst. And we saw something very interesting. We saw this pullback, right? Decreasing size on the way up, decreasing volume. That looks like a nice pullback. We see a double top here. But at the same time, the double top is rejecting the opening range. You see like the low of the opening range. So at this point, things start to look pretty well. We got low volume and we got another breakdown. I saw some dumping in the order flow. It was really dumping down. Took it short, a very tight stop loss, right? Stop loss just above this double bottom, because that's the idea, is that it would move straight away. It's trading with the momentum. And then we sold off, took some first profit here. And then I had my second profit here, more or less 224. So pretty nice move if you consider the risk to reward. And then I held like, I think like in these very volatile days, I think sometimes they can just make huge moves. The price action didn't move too much on the ATR intraday. And then I got out at break even, but the price action now still rangy, so I could still see it sell off. I mean, I would not trade it, but you see like price action move back to break even, so I got out my final 25%. And now the price action is rangy in Tesla, and volatility really died down. I think there's no more edge in predicting strength or weakness, right? Because it's been rangy for such a long time right now. But still, I could see it sell off a bit further considering everything. But I'm out. So these were my two trades of today, PLTR and Tesla. There was a lot of interesting things were happening. Right, also Nvidia and AMD. Nvidia getting hit again. Huawei trying to target their market share with the new AI chip. Actually, Nvidia gave, I think, a decent 5-minute ORB, but I to the short side, but I was too late in. I saw it only too late. It was not the most beautiful one, but I think it was okay, right? So we had the catalyst, we had the gap down, also on the daily chart. Nvidia, yeah, was at least it gap down. Pre-market looked weak. Late pre-market looked a little bit strong though. But then we see the opening range and we see a clear breakdown with volume. I think considering we had a daily range gap down, considering we were weak in the pre-market, considering we had a clear market catalyst, considering also the market was strong, right? Sorry, the market was weak, of course, considering the fact that the Japanese US talks didn't work out, considering the other fact that we discussed, pressure on the Fed, that also causing pressure on the US dollar because the market doesn't like it. I think everything was just bearish. So then we see like the opening range breakdown with volume. I think it would have been a fine short here at the close of this candle, the breakdown candle. Question where to put stop loss. Probably maybe above the open of the previous of the open of this candle. Right, also above the VWAP. And then it sold off. I think considering everything, there was an okay 5-minute ORB in NVIDIA. Actually, Amazon also showed interesting price action. Look, Amazon almost again to the year-to-date low. I was thinking when I invested a little bit in Amazon on this way down here that I was happy with my price, but the price action is now already trading below it again. But Amazon looked also really weak. Amazon in the pre-market looked very weak. By the way, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I read your comments. The risk ratio is different, but I have a very tight stop loss, often above the previous candle or below the previous candle in case of a long. And then I go for at least 1.2R, 1.3R, and I try to let also a part run. But Amazon also looked already very weak in the pre-market, right? If you look at the Qs, looking at the Qs here, like see like the spike up at 7 a.m. and then the dump and then the late pre-market moving up. But Amazon, Amazon was just really, really selling off the whole pre-market. Also low volatility sell-off. So that's also for me extra conviction that it's actually an extra that the trend is solid, right? I think like trends with low volatility are more trustworthy than trends with high volatility. Therefore, I also don't like steep pullbacks, right? Because steep pullbacks are signs of high volatility. So then Amazon, right? First minute, it bounced off the pre-market low, saw some selling pressure, but you could also consider it just chop. Then we broke down with like an ugly squeeze candle, engulfing candle. Then I don't like to trade it anymore. You saw like this bear channel. Again, like an aggressive squeeze, triple top, also with the market actually. And then we sold off further, but I don't really saw an entry here. And then actually at the low of the year to date, 166, there we saw some bottoming price action. Actually, it came there one more time. But actually, the whole market was ranging at that point. The whole market was rangy. And some of it is getting up again, actually, but Tesla again was just playing a couple of minutes ago with the low of the day. It's many things happening in the market. I also thought AMD could be good. AMD also have exposure, right, to the Chinese market, to the Asian market. Perhaps this new chip from Huawei, how they are targeting could also influence AMD. But the market opens with a lot of choppy, ugly price action. And then the sell-off was basically following the market, not trading by itself. So in the end, there was no trade for me in AMD. Meta actually, I thought it could potentially be strong after the market open. Look at this. Look at the first 4-minute candles in Meta. So first candle breaking down a pre-market low, didn't held there. Second candle engulfing. Third, fourth candle, firm size, firm volume. This candle was a little bit steep though, low volume. So I thought, hey, perhaps we could see some strength later on, but then it just started crying like the rest of the stocks. Meta has been down a lot actually. Look at the daily chart. Also trading at the year-to-date low right now. So the bulls in Meta, and Meta had a lot of bulls earlier this year. And not too happy right now. Yeah, we have this love-hate relationship with PLTR. Sometimes can trade nice, but sometimes also just not trustworthy. Looks very strong, but then it just doesn't continue its move. Okay, so let me ask the questions. Answer the questions. UPXY. I have to say I didn't check UPXY. I need to see what happened there. I didn't really check it. It's of course usually it's not in my. It's usually below $10, so I don't look at it. So what do you call your morning breakout strategy? So it's another question, and the answer is yeah. So I trade the opening range breakout, and I trade the ABCD setup. I trade the opening range break setup within 1 minute. So the break of the pre-market high, pre-market low. In some circumstances, not always. Only if there's really the setup, because you need to know what you look for. There's the 1 minute ORB, 2 minute ORB, 5 minute ORB, 50 minute ORB, and the ABCD setup. But basically, in the end, they all have a lot of overlap, right? Because you're simply looking for the clues in the price action. You read the price action candle for candle to see if there's a clear imbalance between the buyers and the sellers. So another question: do you trade set share size? I use the equalizer risk hotkey. So basically, when I get in, before a millisecond before I click where I want to have my stop loss. In the code is already my risk, so then it calculates my share size and it puts automatically a stop loss. Because if I have to calculate all the share size while trading, while make quick decisions, it's a little bit difficult. So when you do a 1-2 minute ORB, what is your favorite setup? Break of high, day low, something else? Well, for the 1 minute, 2 minute ORB, I don't trade it just like a 1 minute ORB, 2 minute, but I really want everything to be perfect. I want to see like a solid daily range gap up, daily range gap down, clear catalyst, pre-market strong or very weak, late pre-market strong or very weak, also compared with the rest of the market, late pre-market signals, preferable a level where the price action is bouncing off, showing that it's really responding to the level, and then a clear, nice 1 minute ORB, strong price action. And also the second candle should be strong when it breaks the first candle. So I don't trade the 1 minute ORB just here is a 1 minute opening range. I'm trading it long or something. And there needs to be a lot of signals in the pre-market, late pre-market, and on the daily chart. So Keith, your question is how many R do you recommend to aim for each month? First of all, I don't think you should aim for R, right? Because like the R is just a consequence of your edge in case you have an edge. I think you should focus on your edge. And of course, even if you have an edge, it's completely uncertain how many setups they're going to come this month, right? So what is the purpose of setting an R target if you have no control of if they're going to be actually setups? So it will only stresses you, right? It will only make you result oriented. And that's not, don't think that's very good for the psychology. So I wouldn't put any, so how can I know if I'm on good track? And the funny thing is, like I read some books also on swing trading, and there's like these swing traders have certain strategies, right? So like there has to be like they basically create like a trade book and they trade in it like for 10, 20 years, 30 years. But even they did it profitable for 20, 30 years or something. But even they had like 3 months or 4 months in a row where they were losing. So yeah, if you're gonna like focus on your monthly result, yeah, then it's not gonna work out, right? Because you can just lose in the short run. So how do you know if you're on a good track? Yeah, it should make sense, like I think trading should be about like that you know what you actually look for, that it makes sense what you look for, that you have a clear idea, and you could also test that idea with other people, and then you collect the data, and then you endlessly refine, and then you see like over the long run if actually what you're looking for, if the trade book that you have is showing signs that is actually having an edge, and in what circumstance it works better, and in what circumstance it doesn't work better. I think that's a better way to test if you're on the right track, or to know if you're on the right track. I think almost, like results, you should more focus like on a quarterly base instead of a monthly R. Just do it like 3 months in a row. I always think like if people have like 3 months of winning, so not per se every month green, but over a period of 3 months, 90 days green, then there might be something, right? And then if the person is in the same setup green over 6 months, okay, then we could say, okay, maybe we have something. And then profitable over 12 months, okay, we probably have something, right? Also depending on how many trades you're taking and et cetera, et cetera. But I always advise people to, if you get a setup first, if you got trade ID, trade in the simulator demo for 3 months until you have 3 months consistently winning. Then take it to a funded account, perhaps a funded account from Babel Traders and Andrew C's, I think is a good option. Then make it consistent for 3 months in the funded account, and then we continue talking. It was actually interesting if your trade ID has any kind of validity. Because first you really need to know what you're looking for, right? And where I'm looking for is really a combination of volume, preferably a catalyst, and then price action being weak or strong on all fronts. And then reading the price action candle for candle, trying to catch the trend, looking all kind of subtle clues. Right? I think this is pretty, right, in Tesla. We had the late pre-market weakness signal, the first minute weakness signal. We got an ugly opening range, but then we broke down way harder than the rest of the market. Candles closing at the low, increasing in size, increasing volume. Nice pullback, decreasing candles, decreasing volume in the pullback. Double top against the previous opening range, and then we made a new low. Got a good risk to reward. I think that's pretty nice. So you could also call this a 50-minute opening range breakdown with retest. But always stocks in play. So Ray Tricks, your question is, what are the benefits of testing through DAS trading compared to taking trades on TradingView? Honestly, I'm not too familiar with TradingView, so I would not know. I would not know, to be honest. I know DAS Trade has the hotkeys, which are very beneficial. TradingView also has actually great software. Also, like they like this tool to watch RVol per minute, relative volume, which I really like. DAS implemented it, but I'm not sure if it's really accurate. Sometimes I see the RVol also in the pre-market. I'm not really sure if it's accurate, but I think TradingView for charting is excellent. The DAS Trade has nice equalized risk hotkeys. So another question, could you share your thoughts on adding to winning trades? Well, simply I add if I see another setup, and then I add just a full position and I treat it as another position. So basically I look for would I take this trade if I would not have been in there? And if its answer is yes, I just get in with a new position. SPY is actually leaking up further. Yeah, it's interesting, right? But I think they're also really starting, and now it start to itch a little bit in the White House, in the U.S. administration. This morning, Trump gave a rant that it's Powell's fault and it's political, and that Powell is not increasing the economy might slow down unless Powell cuts the interest rate. So now Powell gonna get the blame. So it's really, really interesting to see what's going to happen. Let's expect that, like China's not really backing down. China takes their own plan. And I also read that Chinese are investing less through private equity in the United States. US dollar got another hit overnight. Treasury yields went up this morning, but they went down also intraday, I noticed. So let's see, but so far SPY is selling off further. The daily chart, right? We had this record day already now almost 2 weeks ago, and now we're selling off further. Tesla holding pretty well so far. Right, the market selling up, but Tesla's holding in the range. That means Tesla for now is the relative strength. There's some small signs, right? You see like some engulfing here, moving up, selling off deeper, moving up again, selling off deeper, moving up, selling off again, moving up, engulfing again. But so far, Tesla's holding better than the rest of the market. All right. Nvidia also being in a range. AMD now making the breakdown. Perhaps now it could also be cleaner to watch on the 2-minute chart what's happening. So I see a question, does DAS use PineScript? I don't know, to be honest, I don't know PineScript. Actually, I heard about it from this to do with TradingView, but I'm not too familiar with it. So another question, how often do you add to your winning trades? I notice Andrew as he adds aggressively, sometimes even 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, my goal is actually to add more aggressively. I should add more aggressively. Now, if there's really a beautiful trend, if there's a clear, beautiful imbalance between the buyers and the sellers, I think we cannot treat that equally as another setup, right? I think there should be way more risk into it, way more positions. So one of my goals is actually to add further. Tried it last Friday in NVO when it took the sell-off, but then it went wrong, unfortunately. I was in with 3 positions. And then there was no continuation, but I still think it was a fine trade. You can find it on my Twitter. And the market selling off further. Nvidia now, I think is the year-to-date low. 481.90. Oh, no, not yet. So Tesla still holding. So actually, to get back to the question of adding, I just add if there's a new position. I wish I could show some nice trades from last week where I could have added. Or from last month. I think if his price action is really, really strong, gives a great setup. And then even like in the candles afterwards, I should just aggressively add. Go hard in the winning setups. So, and Meta selling off. PLTR also breaking making a new low. Amazon holding actually. But still also Amazon, it's at the year-to-date low. So big tech is getting beat up. Apple is a little bit above the year-to-date low. It's right, it gapped up here. Last Monday was it on the double catalyst, where there was the tariff exemptions from smartphones from China, and also good sales actually, but it sold off. But basically ever since has been selling off, right? Even like so sell off, inside candle, sell off, inside candle, sell off. So, and there's a lot of room to move to the short side. And I think Apple is PE wise still one of the more expensive names. So I think actually there's a lot more room for Apple to the short side, but only of course if the price action tells us. For now, it's holding stronger than the rest, right? If you look at the daily charts. Yeah, so that's a bit the story of the other tech names. Micron selling off further. It's funny, right? We see like now minus 4% on the tech names, and it's just like just another day in the office. Just another day in the office. Yeah, Netflix, they reported earnings. So they could have been trading different. One of the only stocks that were actually in the green in the pre-market, but also pre-market looking very ugly. Late pre-market was also weak in Netflix. And we saw these huge squeeze candles in the first 2 minutes, very strong candles, but then they just sold off and not doing anything. SMCI made a very beautiful sell-off actually after the opening range. Yep. This week actually very interesting earnings. Very interesting week. Alphabet, Google reporting earnings, Tesla reporting earnings, among many other companies. We're looking for some volatility. Yeah, the issue today in the big tech name was they all traded more or less the same. Opening range was actually very ugly and choppy in many of the stocks. Microsoft first couple of minutes looked okay. Actually, Meta, that's the one discussed, looked actually strong after the first couple of minutes. But there was also no catalyst, I believe, in Meta. So I'm not sure if I would have traded it. Nvidia gave, I think, a decent 5-minute ORB to the short side. I think perhaps difficult was this late pre-market strength in Nvidia. Still, I think all in all, it was a fine 5-minute ORB. Decent. There are more pretty ones out there. Apple very choppy after the market open. Tesla choppy. Yeah, PLTR, Amazon by the way as well. The PLTR was the Amazon showed perhaps a little bit more signs of weakness. Right, and actually if you would have taken the close here, the close below the 5-minute ORB after it's rejected. But hindsight's always easy. But it definitely had some relative market weakness. PLTR was a star today after the market open. Look at this. This is strong price action, right? Smooth late pre-market strength, closing the pre-market strong. Second candle stronger than the first candle. I'm also definitely not unhappy with my trade here. I like how I entered before the breakout. Very good risk to reward. Stop loss below the previous candle. If just a quick move up with the momentum, and it showed a lot of momentum, I would have gone to my target. It's always annoying, right, to lose the first trade of the day. So meanwhile, what is Tesla doing? Still holding in the range. Use for a little consolidation. SPY as well. So I see some more questions. Raytrix, so are you accumulating any stocks right now for long-term investment? Do you recommend buying NVIDIA at these levels? Well, of course, like I don't give any investment advice. Yeah, I also noticed something interesting in my own psychology, you know, like I'm doing like some dollar cost averaging, right? Every week, every X period of time buying something. But I felt myself that I got a little bit careful now. And that could also be perhaps like the capitulating moment in the market, right? But it's just, it looks pretty worrisome on all fronts, right? But it could also just be psychology, right? The trend follows, I mean, like our sentiment, market sentiment follows the price action. But so basically, like the answer is, I do some dollar cost averaging. I don't try to time the market or something, because I think it's very important, right? That you shouldn't time the market. I think for your long-term investments, because you don't want to miss these big days. See, for example, this enormous big candle of 2 weeks ago, but you don't want to miss it. And if you might time the market, you're gonna miss these big squeeze moves up. So is my webinar from last week available to watch online? Yes, it should be available online from the setup on my webinar on ABCD setup trading from last Tuesday. It's online. Find it on the strategy. Actually, by the way, I also see that not my whole screen is visible on YouTube. So for tomorrow, I'll be here. Also tomorrow, I'll be standing in for Paris tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday. Sure to have a little bit, to have it a bit more clear on my charts. I think it's okay. So SPY and Q now being in a consolidation. Yeah, I understand you're following Warren Buffett's rule of thumb, right? And also to not follow too much. Try to predict the macroeconomics. He mentioned just buy good companies. That's also true. That is very true, actually. So yeah, but if you guys want to follow my trades that I post every day, follow me on Twitter or on X. Trading W Lenny. Meta now fighting at the low of the year to date for 81.90. And we just fell below there. Always interesting, right? If we're breaking some kind of a level. The SPY is also making a new low. So it keeps on bleeding. I don't really like to trade stocks that are too much correlated with the market, because then if the market turns around, it leaves me just hoping that my stock keeps on moving. But Meta printing a new year-to-date low. Now we close below the year-to-date. SPY also dropping, Q dropping. So it's not really trading independent. Amazon holding. Apple also getting to the new low of the day. AMD looks really weak, right? Look at this sell-off, high volume. Not even a big pull, but just a consolidation, rejecting at a 9 EMA, low volume, selling off high volume again. I mean, I don't trade it. I wouldn't trade it at this point of the day. And I also think this sell-off in AMD could be more clean, right? Could be more clean if the candles are more or less the same size. It's still a little bit too irregular. And there's always the risk of too much market correlation. So Nvidia forming the range. Tesla being in a range, still not dropping. Just pretty red day again today. So the questions, market viewer screener, where can I get one like that? So these are my own market viewers that I made, right? This is like my own watch list that I watch every day. And every day, like I look at the SPY, Q, IWM, I look at the big tech names, and here you see my market and this is basically my watch list for today here. And this one is just like something of a master list of some stocks that I could trade. I just look every day for biggest gap up, biggest gap down, but most of these stocks I would not trade. Right? We're really looking for this high liquidity, high volume stocks, and that just makes more trustworthy price action. And many of them they don't trade. But if you want, I could give you like a copy of this. If you send me a mail, Lenny@pcapitaltrading.com, I could send you like this market viewer. But Meta selling off further below the year-to-date low. More crying for the Meta bulls of earlier this year. So big tech takes the lead again, selling off. Yes, this is from Dust Trader Pro indeed. Yes. Market viewer comes with Dust Trader Pro. The software is Dust Trader Pro as well. Microsoft also pretty clean sell-off, right? Look at the sell-off inside candle. I mean, like I wouldn't trade it at this point. One more time, I wouldn't trade at this point of the day. So we see perhaps some tiny gaps between the candles. So she also had a bit of lack of liquidity, but market is very pretty selling off everything. Yeah, no, I think crypto, Bitcoin, yeah, the crazy move indeed today. Your question about I think Bitcoin is held for sure very well, right? The last couple of weeks, it held above the all-time high from before election day, and today again a strong day. I think yeah, it's like a non-US dollar asset, right? Market seems to not like the US market anymore. All right, seems to be that there was some dumping in the treasuries. The US dollar is losing, and the gold is of course winning a lot, and Bitcoin is also a non-US dollar asset. So it showed the relative strength. It's getting more and more interested for the market, the Bitcoin, because there's some markets losing some confidence in the US market or US economy. And that's, I think, the story from Bitcoin. It held already very strong, and now it's it's like a non-US dollar asset. It's getting more and more interesting. The question is when. So Lenny, when you say you trade only 30 minutes a day, what are those 30 minutes of the day? Well, these 30 minutes are the first 30 minutes after the market opened, right? So 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. US market time. So you can see my PLTR trade today. Was it 9:40? And my Tesla trade, by the way, Tesla now selling up, now jumping as well, pre-market low, couldn't hold. And my Tesla trade was actually at 9:50, 56. So now Tesla also breaking down. Nice candles, big volume. Hope you guys can see it on my screen. Don't think so, actually. Now you should be able to see it or not. Also volume coming in Tesla. I'm really looking forward to this earnings week. Full earnings week. So where about in the world do I live? It's not tax-free where I live. No. So I'm from the Netherlands, from Amsterdam, but I live now nowadays I spend most of my time in South America, in Colombia, where my girlfriend is from. But both countries are not tax-free. They're also not even to be considered tax-friendly. Not at all. But it also doesn't matter, right? Just by selling off. Markets are crying. Fresh sell-off. Average 4 or 5% down in the Magnificent 7 stocks, average 4%. Just a regular day in the office. Still, I think the market is still holding pretty well, I have to say. I have to say. Right, where the market SPY is still clearly above the year-to-date low. I think considering everything that's being said, everything that's being discussed, all the fear everywhere, I think the markets are still holding pretty okay. Right? Jerome Powell says last week, yeah, well, maybe cannot do our job anymore. Right? The job of controlling the inflation and doing the activity on the job market. They say, well, we cannot do it anymore. It's not going in the right direction. Jamie Dimon, who says that it's very likely that we're going to recession, or probable that we're going to recession. All the other geopolitical things that are happening, I think the markets are still holding quite okay. Then also the markets sometimes have definitely some wisdom in it. Right? Basically, it's like crowdsourcing of knowledge or expectation. That's what makes it so interesting, right? It's like everything together, everybody, the whole market together determines the price. Basically, like crowdsourcing of knowledge and experience. So why did you set 30 minutes a day trading? Well, yeah, it's also not that black and white. Sometimes I can take a trade a couple of minutes later, but it's more like, it's also because I work with a lot of mentees, and you see some of the mentees sometimes, people tend to overtrade. And I think it's very clear that the morning volatility for momentum trading is just the best in the first 30 minutes, right? And it makes it easier if you just if you give structure to everything, right? And if okay, I got 30 minutes of puzzling, reading, and then it's done, right? Then it could prevent overtrading, but it could also allows you to set up a process or to improve your process around 30 minutes of peak performance. Sort of like some combination of reasons why I think it could be good to contain our trading in just 30 minutes, the first 30 minutes. So preventing overtrading is one. Another one is to be able to set your process around 30 minutes of peak performance. And of course, there's simply the best volatilities in the first 30 minutes. I think the best volatility in the first 10 minutes or first 50 minutes, and then it diminishes. But definitely now I wouldn't take any momentum trade unless there would be any clear market news coming out, right? Let's say now there comes a news out where Trump says no more tariffs for nobody. All tariffs gone. And then I see of course, 2 strong candles. Yeah, of course I'll be jumping in long. But these are more extreme situations, exceptions. Well, what is Meta doing? Trying to come back in the previous year to day low. I think my time is over, guys. It was a pleasure being here with you. If you got any question, you can always send me a mail, lenny@pcapitaltrading.com. You can look at my Twitter or my X, Trading W Lenny. And tomorrow I'll be here again, just as Wednesday. I'm looking forward to the volatility this week. You are all very, very welcome. My pleasure. So Solomon, I see a question. what are the most useful software application? Yeah, I think it's best to use like one software. I'm not really sure what's the best, to be honest. I use Trader. I mean, it works well. Yeah.